What? Wait a minute. Oh. राष्ट्रगान जन गण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत संविधान भारत भाग्य विधाता उत्तर दक्षिण उत्तर पूर्व पश्चिम उत्तर दक्षिण उत्तर पूर्व दक्षिण पश्चिम विंध्य हिमाचल तावी यमुना गंगा सरस्वती ब्रह्मपुत्रा विंध्य हिमाचल तावी यमुना गंगा उच्छल जल्दी तिरंगा तब शुभ नामे जागे तब शुष आशीष मांगे गाहे तब जयो गाथा भारत सर्वधर्म नागरिक भारत भाग्य विधाता जन गण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत संविधान भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जयो 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 हे जय भारत वंदे मातरम सुजलम सुफलम मलया शीतलम सहस्या श्यामलम मातरम वंदे मातरम जय भारत जय संविधान. Good morning dear friends. Talks on project management back to you. I have to discuss management issues today in relation to ISO 9001 to 9001 2015, a revised chapter. It has been applicable since 2015 month September, and previous one 2008 has been demolished. In fact, has been taken out of practice. Issue is regarding project management, which means management of quantity, management of quality, management of safety, management of every discipline and sub-discipline involved in this expertise of construction, and also other issues which are designs, planning, and execution. All are involved in project management, and it's not only civil project management, it can be other discipline also, or even your administration. I am confined to civil engineering construction because I am from that field, from design, from construction, from estimation, quantity, planning, safety, quality, all those individual sub-disciplines involved in profession of construction engineering, and interconnected disciplines of mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, and other sub-branches or subsidiary engineerings. In this case, I would come the interconnected engineering for plants, projects, for facilities, for buildings, for other structures which are used by common people of this country and for all other nations. You can say this is called uniform management all over world. Without this, no one can move further. If you want to, if you want to convert a forest, is you can say desert, into a city or into habitation or into some industrialized area, you require to manage from initiation to end, and this whole covers project management spectrum, project management world, very divergent world of engineering and involving all other spheres of life. So we cannot be called to profess in isolation, We are interconnected like a mesh, like a grill to all other. And this working network is known as project management, which involves all parameters and knowledge areas into its domain. And those main are, there are various parameters, but prime parameters are for purpose of controls, and that is time, cost, and quality. These are major and supported by resources, supported by information, and supported by many other issues, many other linked materials and communication. Communication is interconnected mechanism that moves from one area to another area to reduce critical environment within that field, without which we cannot move further. Solutions are necessary when there are problems, and problems automatically appear when there is some work to be done. We may not anticipate problem, but problems of course come because they have to come. No one can stop them, and professionals are only required to solve problems. Professionals means to think and solve. Professional means a part of think tank of every country. Think tank is very important because it's mind, it's collection of minds at one place to think as much as possible to a depth from where you can find solutions after complete analysis, understanding and research. These terms I am using because these are applicable terms in management of vast field of engineering construction, which means around more than two-thirds of world's budget. And particularly we have more than that because we have not developed ourselves to that level where many other countries have reached in this field. We are big masses, big nation, populous nation. So we have populous problems also. Problems, we have masses of problems. But this doesn't make you worry because we are able to solve them. That solution lies everywhere. Persons are required to pick these solutions up. Sometimes solutions are just achieved by mind, sometimes by hard work, sometimes by physical work, sometimes by intelligent work. And this is what every educated person in profession has to understand, because our profession is little varying. It contains topmost intelligent to bottommost illiterate. That is where we vary. We have a body in which machines are there, human resources are there, materials are there, and thinking, or you can say brain is there. Brain alone cannot work without resources, and resources cannot be operated without brain and physique. So we have to think in that direction. We have to consider ourselves to be a part of that and to involve in all parts. That is where I am interested to share and create something in minds, that we should not depend alone upon what we have learned. We have explored further chapters, further directions, further fields of our view, you can say view. Our view should never stop at one point, because it's wide, it's divergent, and it's additive also. It demands more and more, and there is no end to improvement of whatever work we do. We have to take it this way. We cannot say that book stops us, education stops us, or some end comes in. After every end, there's another start, and after another start, there's development further and further, and there is an end, and there's another start. So this sequence moves like that in perpetual way, not in a terminating way. If one chapter stops, another chapter starts, and then that stops, another one comes. This way circle never ends. We can say this is like endless curve, not a line, not an angle. This is a circular motion where we come back to same point again and again and again and again without any transition. This geometry of this existence, this geometry of nature of profession must be understood. We have a start in start of profession, but we don't have any end in this profession, which end only goes to when we take last breath. But again it continues, somebody else comes and continues that. That is where are we. This is not philosophy, this is reality of life, that just like life doesn't stop, this also doesn't stop. But only point is that we have to receive this consideration, which we never try to. We define a silver lining and say this is where I don't cross. But you cross or you don't cross, line would cross. Time will cross that. Maybe you are not there, but it continues. So is that professional management to be defined in a professional way? It's not simply, I said, cost, time, quality, or other supporting factors. It is every factor that it never ends because we are using natural resources. We are using material, rocks, dust, sand, cement, which is also not natural, is artificial, manufactured when it contains lime and silica. So there is everything that we are not producing ourselves. We depend on nature, and we have a duty to use that one to best advantage of use. Best advantage, not just to destroy that or to, you can say, abuse that material, because this is earth material and this was created by superpower whom we submit all time. Maybe we do not know what is that, but that is there. That exists, with this fact cannot be denied. We have to serve that superpower who who supported us to become qualified, to become educated, because education doesn't come from university. University can tell you something, do it, but our mind receives that. This mind is not constructed by someone. This body is God's creation. This earth is God's creation. So we have a duty to improve that, and that is what engineering is all about. We collect raw materials, we explore them from earth, what all raw materials, and we use them for artificial production, artificial manufacture. And that is what engineering about. It's not only our civil engineering, it's every engineering. You can take mechanical engineering, it requires natural material, electrical also required. There is no way you can go without that. And we are actually depending on earth, which is and lithosphere and aerospace, which are all natural. So as an engineer, it is duty of every engineer to help improve earth and improve environment. Otherwise you abuse your education, you abuse your system, and you abuse your nature. Nature expects something of its creation. A human being is a creation of nature. We have learned something, so we have to use that. We have to systemize that. Either we have to systemize that or we have to follow certain system. One of these options has to be decided. Either I have to move into system, and if I am unable to move a system, I have to follow system that has been devised by someone else. There is no other way. Your system is also acceptable if you move on the system. If you create some system, you have to move on the system. Self motivation is that, and you have to understand that. So when I say project management, this means it's not actually project, it's life management. Every project is a life, every material is a life. Some product has 10 years life, and some product has 100 years life, 200 years life, 300 years life. It depends. There are certain projects in Egypt, there's a pyramids and so that's which have thousands of, and they have around the country many structures that have been there for many centuries. This means we are not doing job only for today or for tomorrow. Our today's job that we do affects our future, everybody's future. If I develop some structure or some road or some building, it's going to be used for years to come. for decades to come. That intention, that basis of thinking, I have to keep in mind that it is going to affect life of current generation and future generation. If I keep that point in mind, then certainly I would think to deliver something very good, something reliable that can continue even after I die or I leave that area. If I keep that point in mind, then certainly I shall do good job. I shall do job to best of my capacity. Or else I will consider, okay, this is my earning job. I have to live, I have to take salary or commission or fee out of that work. So why should I worry about that? That is polluting thinking. Do not make your mind polluted. Do not make your mind selfish. Do not make your mind because you are surviving because of this job. No, it's not question of your survival. If you are getting salary or something, that okay, that's fine, that's something in return to your work, but your efforts have no or have got no relation to this money. Your efforts cannot be measured. Your efforts come out of your spirit, your soul, your mind. You cannot equalize them to what you are getting. Sometimes you are doing 10 times work than you are getting, and sometimes you are not doing any work and you are getting. Both cases you have to consider. Work has to be done, no doubt. It shall be done. But what way it is done and how it is done, that is important factor. You can do as much as work you do, but that work is quality less. It doesn't make any sense. If many people fall or die accidentally on your work, then means you are not a good manager or a good engineer because of your negligence or because of someone else who is working for you. That person negligence, if accident happens on site and person loses life or we lose material, in somewhere there is a fault, somewhere there is ignorance, or you can say carelessness. You can use these excuses in your reports, but facts are different, that you were sleeping, your workers were sleeping and it happened. And it happens with quality also. Yeah, it's a point of safety that we have to be careful. But quality depends upon your working quality. Means you cannot say that it's only quality of material production. Your quality as a professional, your quality as human being, and your quality as a professional, that is more important. And it depends upon you how much input you gives to this. If you give good input, it will work input. People would follow you if you do something. If you force them to do something, they would certainly follow. But if you say, okay, leave it, no problem, let it go as it is going, that excuse you for good for you. You can say, okay, what can I do? System is like that. So I can say this is a definition of a foolish statement. What can I do? If you cannot do, why are you occupying yourself in that position? Drop that position, go away. But that you don't do because you have to survive. So either you have to survive, you think of that, or you have to fix yourself and move further on a higher scale. You have to think that. Quality depends on individual approach. This is individual action that results in quality. Quality cannot be understood by everybody. First, you have to establish your personal quality, your private quality, your performing quality. And if you establish, you define yourself, then you can expect others to do that. And if you don't follow that, if you don't initiate that, you cannot expect others to do that. It's not simply working quality. It is system quality, your own system. If the example is if you are not punctual, you are not regular, and you expect others to be that, that is not acceptable. First you establish you are a quality person. You are not a greed, avaricious. You think in approach and not in what do you want, but what is required. You follow that. You have determination to do something. If people understand that you are determined, you are dedicated, you are devoted, you are committed, and you lead yourself, certainly people would lead, they will be led by you, they will follow you. This is natural. Leaders must have a quality. If leaders don't have quality, your followers can never give quality. So first you train yourself. Okay, you are very well educated, but do you have quality? At that point you have to screen yourself. If you cannot screen yourself, you cannot define yourself, you cannot use others. So make quality of your professional standards and then force others to that. Certainly you will find this is very pleasing state. But if you take it normally, let it go as it is, then you will never get it. It's not here everywhere like that. But once you are in that arena of quality, you can achieve a lot, because quality and quantity, these two items, these two parameters, these two requirements move together. If one moves further, for example, quality is ahead, quantity is ahead and quality is behind, that is substandard action. I am running for production, but my quality is not running with me. That product is called substandard or lacking in quality or quality less product. Got no value. And when say my quality is ahead, my quantity is behind, well, that is acceptable because it is having value added quality, but production would suffer. So there is also a chance to imbalance, non-equilibrium of quality and quantity. And certainly either you may get some loss on that point, or you may get loss of time or budget. That's what I'm saying. This 3 points on this triangle: time, cost, and quality. As I talked before many times, I just tell again so that you remember value of time, you remember value of cost, and you remember value of quality. After that, value of resources, individual resources, human resources, material resources, natural resources, and all other supports like equipment and and imaginary support, or you can say immeasurable support of communication. You have to communication on all these parameters internally. If these parameters are created, these parameters are accepted, these parameters are received well and applied well, system would change. And where you say system is not working, system would work. That is my thought. That is my mind. Of course, my mind cannot answer your questions because I am already raising question in myself and on everybody. I am criticizing everyone because criticism a, is a power actually. Criticism is not an opposition. It's a power to define something which is not defined yet. It's not personal attack. It's nothing to do with that. It's a part of management. Criticism or virtual opposition to something given by others, just because there's a reason to amend that further. And if you do that, this is very nice way. Constructive, people call it constructive criticism. They cannot call it constructive criticism. But remember, positivity is always accepted. People are happy with positive statement, but people never like to hear negative statement. But remember, negative statement makes positive statement. This is mathematics. We may not get it, but if you think negatively also as you are thinking positively, You shall avoid many risks in life because you can think beyond certain point where others cannot think. That is negative work. It doesn't mean no work. It doesn't mean stop work. It means work in a direction where others can't see. Maybe you know x-axis and y-axis on graph. There is an origin in between where two lines vertical and horizontal meet. X-axis is positive one side and on other side of origin is negative. Same on y-axis, if you go upwards it's positive and if you go downwards negative. It doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It means its value is positive and negative. Same way our values are positive and negative. When we say person is negative, it's not mean it doesn't mean that you're criticizing the person. The person is negative because he thinks more than you are thinking. Positive is sane. Everybody knows that. But negative can only be understood, can only be analyzed and understood. And that negative is more important. Example, you get a computer. What is computer system? How it works? So it works on microns. So what is microns? What is microelectrons? What is that technology? It is 10 to power minus 6. So this is negative power. Imagine if you do not understand negative power, would you get this computer system? You will never get it. You will never get it. No. You know that this is a negative hidden work. That when it's projected, it becomes positive. That 10 to power 6, when you see on your monitor or in LCD, you can see projection of that, otherwise not. So this negative is not diet, it's working. Your narrows are what? Which doctors haven't understood yet. This is all negative action, which is giving you positive thinking. So it's very important part to understand that do not condemn negative. If someone is negative, this means that person is more powerful in your thoughts. His thoughts, that person can think many times better than what you are trying to show. Once negative exposed, it multiplies. If you say add negative to negative, result is negative, but value is more. Don't forget that. Positive is added to positive, value is positive, but negative and multiplies become positive. If higher value and negative and less value and positive, result is negative, but result is there. We have to understand these points very carefully. Mathematics is not a joke, and remember, every action in life is based on mathematics. You cannot avoid that. Whether or not you understand it or you don't understand it doesn't make a difference. Whole universe is moving on mathematics. If you just think on this solar system, I'm just going to explain to you briefly because it's not part of management, but God managed this. God created that. Solar system, many parameters, many planets distant apart from each other, varying sizes, moving with different velocities. Don't you think about that? If you are educated one, you just say, oh yes, I don't know, I'm not space person, I'm not astronomer. There is no requirement to be astronomer in thinking. There is an earth planet, there's a sun planet, and like that. But if you imagine, they are distant lot. Sun is located 15 crore kilometers from where I'm sitting, and see varying sizes. We are having earth on which we all are living, only very small, just around 12,500 kilometer diameters. You may say it's very big. What you are talking? Earth is very big. You don't know how much it is. We never, if you move here, we can never cover this. You are right, you can never cover this. But this is dimensioned. This is dimensioned very well. But there is a system. All planets are working. Universal we call it. They never stop. They never stop. And they are located in the same positions. Not now. These have been there for since this universe was created. This means there must be There must have been a background of calculations. This Earth, 12,500 kilometer diameter ball, and if you consider Sun, which is 15 crore kilometers from here, it is 1.3 million kilometers ball, and likewise all other parameters orbiting Sun all time. So is mathematics not involved here? It is involved here. Means there should have been some formula with God to decide this, how to do it, how to devise this, which we can never think. We can only know how this planet shall affect my future, but we never try to understand how this was created. If you want to construct a building, we do a lot of work. We do foundation, we do structure, we do all that, and we say, oh, it may not fall. But Earth is not falling, it is not having any foundation. Mars is not having any foundation, still these are there. This means there is some force that is balancing them all time. This means there was some calculation done and there was some era of calculation. That point we can keep in mind that nature knows mathematics. We have only to observe that, and by our observation we reach certain conclusion like that Earth is revolving on its axis. It's revolving on its perimeter 24 hours a day. It gives one round, and then it is going, is orbiting around Sun, and in 365 days it completes one orbit. So we observe that. By observation, we did nothing. We did not create anything there. We just observe that and reach to a conclusion that this is our formula, empirical formula, not a derived formula, and we only understand that. That's what I am saying. Even understanding by scientists is not easy. They consume a lot of time just to know what is nature's work. But it's a part of management because you are working on something done by nature. Similarly, my reference was only to let you understand, not to stay in darkness, that there are so many involvement. Mathematics is very important here, and mathematics plays very important role in everybody's life. And mathematics is a part of super management without which you cannot even think. Everywhere it works. All categories of mathematics works. So we have to be a mathematician that time. Language is not a problem. Thinking is a problem. Concept is a problem. So when we say coming back to point, which I'm talking of, quality system, you must have all knowledge, complete knowledge of these parameters. There are 8, 9, 10, whatever number of parameters are there. In management, you can add more parameters. There is no bar. But essential parameters must be understood and used if you want to go further, if you move successfully on system you follow or system you can create also. There's no bar, but in conformance to parameters. So when I say that I have to produce something, means I have to deliver something, I have to construct something, all this point comes into play. And somebody systemizes that, somebody follows that. So there is a national system, there can be your own system, or there can be world system. Systems are systems. You can follow them. There is no binding that you follow or will kill you. It's not that. It's just agreements that we can follow you, we recognize you. But they are also relative. Nothing is basics. Remember, everything is relative because they also have no origin. Everybody moves and somebody else comes and overlaps and moves with that. So we are moving in quality system, in safety system, by or through many systems. So that is why I'm saying currently ISO is a body that standardizes these systems, various systems, and in general, projects are done supported by those systems for purpose of management. That's what we have to understand, we have to talk about. Or if there is no ISO, it doesn't mean work won't move. When there was no ISO, projects were done. There was no safety standards, project was done. When there was no computers, project was done. Work never stopped. We just use, just like tools. It's like tools. It's like instruments that we use them. That is what. But because these supports are available, why not use them? Question is that if I understand that I can use it, I can improve my work using certain reference, it's better to use that rather than to reject that. What I lose if I use that? Nothing. Only thing, I'm getting some support. So when I produce something, I create something for future use, I have to use those supports, and those support I'm talking, that is quality, that is time, and that is quality, time, and cost. If cost escalates, your hands are off. You stop that point. You stop at that point. Cost escalation has affected, and I cannot move further. And because cost has gone off, you can't do that. You can't infill that gap. This is cost, this is money. Either you have to arrange something additional for that and move, or you have to stop. Both are there. Question comes in, why your cost has escalated? You may have many explanations. Time is more, or market prioritizes these. You can give whatever explanation, you can give whatever reason, but original basis remains same. That because of time, you are saying time reference you can give. This means you lose time also. That's why cost escalated. And you may say quality. Quality would not affect your time if you move it perfectly. It will not affect your cost if it remains constant. Yes, you cannot give over quality, that is acceptable, but you at least comply with requires quality, which means you have to abide by required system. That is where I talk about. I was I was talking before about this NXSL NXSL format, which is a kind of perfect guide how to define yourself, your organization, how it works. And before, if you say in 2008, ISO 9001 2008, it was something which was not perfect, which had certain deficiencies as observed by use of that system. So those deficiency or those inefficiency have been to some extent corrected in ISO 9001 2015, and maybe in future it will further amended. Well, now whatever it is that quality cannot be taken for granted. This is what actually it is. Quality means quality system should not be taken for granted only, that for sake it's automatically going to work. It is not going to work automatically. Means monitoring is required on that. Responsibility and liabilities and accountabilities are required to be fixed on that system. Otherwise, it would lapse. If you don't have intermediate controls and end controls, it would collapse. Because this is a created system, this is a system where we have referred to, and references can go wrong or references can expire. That's what we have to say. It's not to be hard and fastly applied. It has to be applied varyingly. it contains various variables provided certain fixed items or certain mandated items are complied with. Addition is accepted and there is no limit. System definition is your job. How system works is your job. There are various ways. This you have to comply with and others you can define yourself. Option exists, but option doesn't mean you can define whatever it is, because whatever optional procedures you devise, what options you adopt, you have to prove them also. They won't say, why did you do this? If you define with justification that we are doing this, then you have to establish that you are doing this. It's not simply saying, if you're writing something, we are going to do it this way, this, if this problem like this, we will solve this. It's not simply statement. You have to prove that what you said, you did it. And that is what it is. Plan, do, check, act. PDCA means you have to plan it. But whatever you plan, no problem. And if you plan, you do it. Enough is not planning. Requirement is doing. And if you do it, then what? Means if you do something is okay? No. You check it. Means review it. And where review means you audit yourself, you investigate yourself what you did, you examine, re-examine, you may find certain defects, certain non-conformance points of orderless work, then you have to correct it. Means you have to check and improve. That's called act. Act to make it perfect, or what you did is right. You have to ensure that this is what it is. Plan it, do it, check it, act it. This is in short, but this is very long, because plan is not easy, do is not easy, it takes time, it takes everything, and check is very stressful, because check means errors will be surfaced, erupted up, and everybody knows that this you made mistake. They would think, oh, you're worried about that. Oh, people shall say, I did this mistake. So what if people say you made this mistake? Mistakes are necessary to teach you, and mistake is not intentional. It is done when you work, and if you don't work, there is no mistake. If you stay in some office for 25 years and never work, no mistake, everything is fine. And if you work even for some time, certainly you will cause mistakes, but that is not a crime. That is an expectation. That is certainly expectation. Of course, this power of mistake or repetition of mistake, or percentage of mistake you cause in, that must be limited. That must be constrained. That is where we have to define ourselves. How many mistakes or errors are acceptable in certain population of activities? If I perform 1000 activities and say one error occurs or two error occurs, then I have to check that is it acceptable or is excessive error, or no problem, it is within my tolerance or within system tolerance. That is what required. If you do 1000 activities and one or two activities gone wrong, certainly you, after checking, you will understand that. And once you understand, okay, I correct it now, and next time this is lesson learned for me, because I know reason behind how it happened. It happened because of human error. Fine, we have to be more careful to that work. Or if it had to happen because of some defective machine or some other reason, we have to investigate that reason, examine that work, and decide how to set it right. This is what it's all about. It's nothing very difficult, in which we consider This is required, means this must be done first. And what factors rule that? How, when we do this, what factors come into play during our actions? Those must be expressed in writing so that not only you but also all others working with you should understand them. And if when everybody responsible understands this, certainly they would do it that way, and somebody would supervise them. So system is generated itself. That is what is ISO 9001 Annex S series, which defines varying requirements in clauses. This requirement, there are 10 clauses in that. Its definitions are there, its terminology is there, and what should you do in whatever way, in whatever work, in whatever project, in whatever is up to you how you define. But they say this is our structure, this is our format, this format is having clause 1 to clause 10. These are their indicatory requirements, and then you have to answer what you are going to do. There's no restriction. There's no restriction. You have to fill up that form in your way and to apply and to work accordingly. And if you find that you have to improve on that, you redefine. But whatever you do, you have to justify. I defined it. I defined this methodology in clause 1, in clause 2, as it is. We define that. Just like clause 1 is scope. This is the scope of my project or my company. You have to define these are indicators, and this is its explanation what I'm going to do. Then there will be some other 2, 3, 4 like that. Now that's where I'm going to indicate to you what are those, and that is, you can say, annex SL, annex SL. Yes, it is here. Yes, this is what I'm going to, just for a reference, I'm going to repeat it to you, because it's what it is. It's a quality system. It says a quality system which organization adopts. It's a management system to take care of, achieving your set objectives, whatever your organization or you as an owner, define or comfortably achieve them, to take care of them. Then its system comprises various procedures, sets of procedures to chart out and implement various operations or activities so as to successfully reach its intended objectives. Means our target is to achieve those objectives successfully, whatever objectives we define, and this leads to enhanced use of resources. Means when you are sure that we have to accept this procedure, we work on that procedure, certainly it shall give performance, you can say improved performance by your resources, and all risks that you are not aware of will be clear in your mind, that if I do this, this can result in negatively or positively. That's what is required, and you will bring to your customer better satisfaction, not only satisfaction, better satisfaction. This is what is required if you are going to produce a certain product or deliver certain services. And this is that general statement, you can say. There were separate forms in past, that this is form for work material, this is form for environment, and this is form for your safety. These were different forms having different structures. So what has been done in this, that all these have been uniform in every system. You have to define similarly in all systems. There is no variation in clauses. So that's why it's called high level management system. This is not general one. This is having certain perfection, that you should move it accordingly without any prime variation. You can just define variations, and your sub points, means sub clauses, or all of this. So that is what Annex L is saying. Then you can say, means I'm not going to repeat everything, because already I have repeated that. I'm just going to remind you about this clauses, which are that clause 1 is scope. Whatever is scope of it, you have to do, means you have to define intended outcome of management system, which are industry specific and should be aligned with clause 4, that is context of organization, because clause 1 is scope and clause 4 is context of organizations. Both are linked together, means what is your organization going to do and what is the scope, means both should be same on same page. If they are on different page, so then there is some problem in your system. And if you go further than clause 2, which is normative references, means normal references we are going to use, and which requires that, means what is details of standards or reference standards we are going to adopt, what are publications, and what are certain standards we are going to adopt. That all whatever else, means you have to define that into this clause. Then it is clause 3, which is terms and definitions, means you are going to define them as well as detailed terms and definitions applicable to particular or specific standard, in addition to format related terms and conditions. So this is means a certain relative. This is not originally means say. So clause 4 is context of organization, where stress is given that what does it include actually. It says first you understand your organization, you understand what actually is context, what is going to do, what are its sole purpose, what it intends to achieve, and how do you understand about its needs, and what's the expectation of parties involved or stakeholders involved. All this must be included in its prime thinking. Then you have to determine that to achieve this objective, to achieve its scope, what should be management system there. The system is there, quality system is there, but how should to that management be installed, how should that management achieve that. Both this is called determination of scope of system. Then what is finally management system? If you just envelop all these factors, you will know what should be definition of your specific management of your organization. These are simply considerations to understand, but what actually these are, then you have to further define why you are there, why your organization is there, what is actually you have created an organization for what. Then you have to identify your own internal external issues which impact upon your results, which impact upon your performance, what you want to achieve, and who are interested parties, and what is requirement of those parties when stakeholders. There will be so many stakeholders, so everybody has some goal in that. After that is you have to define what is the scope and boundaries of your management system. There should be some lining that beyond this we would not move, and we will not stay before this. We will at least reach this one until we expand ourselves. Then there is employees awareness and involvement. This is all clause 4, text context of organization, means after that if you go, it's clause 5 and it's called leadership. Leadership here is a word only, but it's very powerful. Leadership actually leads every part of management. Leadership and commitment, means this is one point. Policy is another point, means if there's a leadership, there must be a policy that leadership defines. Otherwise, there is no meaning of leadership if there is no policy. Without policy, what shall you do? You don't know what to do. Policy would tell you this is my objective, this we have to decide, and these are resources for this, and you have to do accordingly. Then organizational roles, means responsibilities and authorities. Who is organizing that leadership, means who is that leadership, means it has to organize. There cannot be means one leader. It is a leadership, it can be a group of leaders, it can be individual leaders. There is no definition of that. It can be system leaders, it can be group leaders, or it can be anything. It must exist. Responsibilities, must be designed, must be defined, roles must be defined, their powers must be defined, everything must be clearly defined in this leadership role. And that's what I say. Then we have to consider means for all what is emphasis on leadership. It's not just top management, it is responsible and accountability that counts. It's not simply seat or title that counts. Accountability, responsibility, obligation, every factor counts. Then top management means it has greater accountability and involvement in organizational management system that must be understood, and then integration of requirement to our system. What we require, what we are going to do is fit in, is going to fit in the system, or it's in fitting in core business of this organization. That is what we have to make sure. Then ensure that management system allocates necessary resources. Then we are coming to operational part. Then necessary resources. Then there should be ensure management system achieves business intended outcomes. Certainly, you have to ensure by operation only, not theoretically. And then top management is responsible to communicate importance of management system and ensure employees awareness and involvement. This means ultimate terminology goes to communication. If there is no perfect communication, it cannot be understood by all, by employees, by others. So again, you see, communication is coming at end to rule all previous one. Then we consider clause 6, which is planning. Planning. It requires what? Actions to address risks and opportunities. When we plan something, we are going to involve with risks and opportunities. Means we have to take action for those. If there are opportunities, we think we would use this, and where there is a risk, we have to cover that risk at pre-stage, not at post-stage. This means we will reduce adverse results. Then management system objectives and planning to achieve this objective. Objective part comes again, and planning to achieve that objective means we are going to expand that theoretical objective to practical consideration. And then our points to consider are, what are these points? Being risk-based thinking. When you think something, we will do this. Fine, do this. But can you blindly do that? Can you go blindly? No, you cannot go blindly, because its cost, its time, its quality factors are there. So you will think many ideas behind that. You think many issues behind that. You will bring into your consideration many plus points and minus points into your can say thinking process, into your thought process. So this you will give explanation. This give input means you have to give how many marks to this point and how many marks to other point, and then imbalance both and reach a decision that this is the best approach option 1, this is the best approach option 2, and this is best approach option 3, and further decide which one is best. So being risk-based thinking means you have to weigh results, risk on all these points. Then you can say once organization pinpoint risks, once organization pinpoints risks and opportunities, then it has to work out how to resolve those risks, how to address through planning. That is where planning screening comes in. Planning is not simple blind planning, but keeping abreast all factors that if I take this period in this activity, this may not be done due to this reason. Those reasons can be defined. If you further go, then it says what is that, who is that, how is that, and when is that. All these questions come in risk addressing. You can understand every particle of that. What's that risk? Who is suffer because of that? And how it protect that one? And when and what stage we that point you have to understand. I'm just trying to tell what is sequence of this point when we use mind to plan and to do a job. Planning is that stage where sequences are continued, sequences are created, activities are created, sequences activities, parallel activities, all are collected at one point in planning, and that is called schedule, or that is called bar chart. That is not executive bar chart I'm talking, I know something else. After that will come executive bar chart, means bar chart that's going to specifically work for something. So for something, all these factors we have to decide why considering to resolve risk, to convert risk to opportunity or to best use. And in that case, says approach replaces preventive action. If you act like this, if you think all factors to be considered and debate with your employers, with your partners, or yourself alone, you will know in advance that at this stage, if you don't care, there shall be an impact on this project. An impact means loss of money, loss of cost, time, and quality. It is going to affect everywhere. So, what you say? Preventive action you would have to adopt to reduce risk for corrective actions later. Once you are taking preventive action, means you are going to reduce magnitude of risk. And for further actions, which you'll get later on, means improvement on those factors. After that, objectives to management system. What are objectives of management system? Should be measurable, communicated, aligned to management system policy and updated. This is all complete process, measurement of management system. It's not easy, but performance can be understood. Communication can be understood. Every point can be understood. Now we'll go to point 7, class 7, and that is support. I'm not going to detail, we're going to indicate absolutely. Already I've done that, but refreshing is very important just to bring you back, take you back to what we talked of. Says that in support, there are supports of resources, competency, awareness, communication, documented information. These are essentials. Means resources, without resources you cannot do anything. Competence means you must have knowledge. Whoever deals with that must have knowledge. And not only knowledge, proven knowledge. And awareness you should have. You should not sleep about that. And communication, as I discussed, communication is linked with everybody. And then documented information. And what are points that we can consider for these are material, equipment, and human resources. So of course, all these three are must. Then capacity potential of organization, and when there is material, when human resource, when equipment, when competency, everything, money, certainly you are a capacity person. Your capacity organization means you have a capacity to take the job. If you have all these you are a person. See, there's no need of walls and roof. It's contents what you need. Material you can buy, or you have your own staff material. Equipment you can buy, or you can hire. You have your own equipment. And same thing, human resources you must have, or you can procure them. So capacity potential of organization changes from time to time. Sometimes it has many jobs, so you can say You have many jobs, you don't need more jobs. So you know, I don't have potential now, I cannot move that because I am already overloaded. It doesn't mean you are not there, you are there, but you don't have more capacity than that. Then we come say qualification of person. Certainly competency means qualification, and qualification is not just academic qualification, it is academics plus experience. And standard experience means, you can say, experience that can be counted in profession. That experience, not simply years of working without work. It's not that. And go further to awareness. Everybody knows or they don't know, or every time you have to remind them. They should know how system is working. Everybody should know. All system in your company, all functions how are working. You need not explain to them every time. Yes, you have to conduct frequent talks to them frequently, maybe 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, or when there is some change. You have to notify to them either by writing or by conducting seminars or meetings of whatever way you adopt. Then is written job description. Excellent is called. If job description written, though it's not possible to write everything what you do, but at least indicatively it can be done. So that is job. Have you see in many vacancies they sometimes write you should do this, you should do, you have to do, saying and that's all job description. But that is not limited to that one. This is expandable. Then procedures. Procedures means safety procedures, quality procedures, safety procedures, and quality control procedures, and administrative means procedure methods. And documented information is different than document. We talked it at length. Then we go to information about management and procedures or position, whatever form we get it, we establish it. And written text it can be, maps it can be, charts it can be, designs it can be, and successful implementation evidence of compliance of requirements. And then you can say no system of documents. Document system has stopped. It's not documented information system that has been common. Document information, you should use those documents as information in future and also on same project. After that comes operation, that's clause 8. So we have talked about clause 1, that was scope. Clause 2, that is normative reference. Clause 3, terms and definitions. Clause 4, context of organization. Clause 5, leadership. Clause 6, planning. Clause 7, support. And this is clause 8, operation, which is operational planning and control. And consideration points are in-house process, outsourced process, overall process. Management includes adequate criteria to control these processes and manage planned and unintended changes. Then we go to clause 9, is performance evaluation, which is a part of, you can say, establishing a kind of review, a kind of relook on what you did. You revisit that area you did and now find out what actually it is. Performance measurement, how much, why there was lapse, like that. So monitoring, measurement, analysis and evaluation means monitoring, measurement, analysis and evaluation. It also requires internal audit. It requires management review, all that in performance evaluation. And what we consider there, management requires to decide about internal audit to ensure compliance of management system means self-check. We have to self-check what we have done, it's right or it's wrong, in line to our standardized system. And then final review by management to ensure its compliance and whether or not system works suitably, adequately and effectively. This is complete review, you can say, thorough review. And then we move to clause 10, and that's improvement. Improvement, which requires, means you have to discover non-conformity and then we have to decide corrective action. and then it should done continuously. It should not stop. At every stage should move. You have to improve further, and that is continual improvement. And which point we consider here? You can say in changing business environment, process and objectives vary. Means when everything you see changes are there, business methods are changing, other issues are changing, means business environment changes, process changes, objectives varies also on when you decide some objective. You even deflect that one or add some more value. That is called, means environment changing, process changing, objectives changing, and to meet requirements, continual monitoring, evaluation, improvements, all this continue and there is a change, and this is in fact very improved method to define changes in future. Means changes maybe start 20, 30 years back, but could not be seen now, but in future it would be seen. That's what it is. Then we say this is total clause 10 improvement, clause 9 was performance measurement, and clause 8 is operation, and clause 7 is support, clause 6 is planning, and clause 5 is leadership, clause 4 is context of organization, clause 3 is terms and conditions, and clause 2 is normative references, and clause 1 is scope. This is what this form is all about that we talk of, and we will consider that. And after this, the explanation of, as I said before, these explanations still same. There's no variation, and only thing is document information, and it says that combination of this, it's a terms document information about introduced was part of common high level structure and common terms for management systems. So you can say that document information are like means to say these are two types, and which is one is that one is a must, the other one is that which you have to decide. So there's a communication of information, means it applies there. Then it's evidence of conformity is required, knowledge sharing, because when there's documentation, knowledge as well, and dissemination and process, dissemination and preserve organization experience. And then there are means mediums are defined, which is paper document, is magnetic document, or it's electronic or optical or others of photograph or video or master, whatever it is, all are involved. Then means it depends upon how it is. So there are two ways. One is documented information required by standards, means international standard. One is that mandatory requirement. Others with documented information determined by organizations, your way, what you define. But same thing, you are defining document information in an organization, means it's a quality management system description in your way. So sizes of this document depends upon what sort of company you are, what sort of methods you are adopting, what sort of items you are considering, what's the complexities of processes are there, and interactions in these systems itself, and computers and persons are going to work on this. All this is there, and major requirements are what you can say. This documented information, it should be maintained by organization, and objective is purpose is to establish QMS, quality management system. This must be covering scope of quality management system, document information necessary to support operations of processes, quality policy, quality objectives, and this document information is subject to require whatever clause. Then which type of documents, means you may have to store, and that is what we say here is that organization chart, for example, this is not mandate, it's not in part one, it's not mandatory, but you have to do it for yourself. Then you can say top management to line management you have to define. Then you have to define processes, maps, means chemical points or other points, you can say theoretical requirement or scope requirement or process of a scope as process maps, process flow, charts, and process descriptions. That's all termed as engineering. Then procedures which are technical and administrative. And you have to define work or test instructions, means IFC drawing, and some of them is specific. This is instructions they're going to do. and then specifications, what sort of specifications are they finding this project, or general or particular or specific. It's called explanations of the whatever. Then documents containing internal communications, memorandums, mails, methods. Then production schedules, means whatever schedule you're going to apply on that project, and that's a very important document like that. Then and say uh, these are production schedules, descriptive schedules, a bar charts you prepare, or CPM you prepare, something else you prepare. Then approved suppliers list, whatever vendors are reliable for you, who are shortlisted in future use or future the test and inspection plans, ITP checklist, which I will discuss later on. I already named them in past videos. This what's our way of plan to discuss with you. Then what is quality plan and quality manual and strategic plans and forms. All this we discussed before at length. Now, let's say something else here means document information that may be retained by organization for purpose of providing evidence. But that was when we were discussing what's required or not required. Here is what record you should have. The information on document controls that you should establish that you are compliant with that. That says the document information to an extent necessary to have confidence. Means you can say documented information should act as a record to establish confidence in you. Confidence in your approach that you are really working. A requirement, you're not sitting for sake of having a book with you or something explanation that you worked on that. Then it should be fitness of purpose, monitoring and measuring resources. You must do that. Evidence, you must do that. You must have evidence. And then basis used for calibration of the systems, monitoring monitoring and measurement resources. That you must have a record of. Once you did it. Then evidence of competence of persons who are involved in that. After that, records needed demonstrate that design and development requirements were met. You must have certain design, certain calculations for which you got from a structural engineer or someone else. That records you must have. Then records on design and development, and records of activities and of design and development, and all records whatever designs, development activities, and the changes on design, and then review all that. It must be recorded, and then you can say designs and development changes, including results of review and authorization of changes and action, necessary action. Then records of evaluation, selection, monitoring of performance, and evaluation of external providers. Then unique identification of outputs. So that you have to maintain traceability, you should have certain code of that, and that code should be have further codes. And once it comes to business, that records title or whatever it is, you must open door, and that must be recorded. After that, unique identification and traceability is it can be traced later on. You immediately find that out, and then property of customers and others. All that means changes in records and authorizations and product release and services and deliveries, and non-conformities must be there, must be recorded, how what actions you took on that, and how it was reconciled, how it was means reached to a conclusion. Okay, fine, move further on that. How and conformities, non-conformities are handled. Means you accept it now, or you just try to change that and achieve something new. And evaluation of performance and implementation program, audit program, and you can say management review records and non-conformity, etc. All this must be there. This is our ISO 9001 SL, and then we have to go to our other one, that is supervising management, which we're talking of. Now it's not simply that we talk and finish. I discuss with you, in addition to this general format about RCC buildings, when we construct, we are contractor or someone else, what points we have to take, because this is for common people. Everybody deals with all such. Later on, we jump down to supervision standards. Means you are making a house and You give to some contractor or builder, but there's no supervision. There's no party to supervise that. You have to depend on self-supervision of that builder, promoter, or contractor. But how can you trust, and particularly in country like ours, where even 1% people are not trustworthy from top to bottom. This is a country of, you can say, robbers or you can say thieves. In fact, we are. So we have to keep this in our mind. We cannot rely upon everybody. For that purpose, yes, if it's someone else approach where everybody is cautious, everybody is honest, that's something different, but it doesn't occur here. We find differences, we find varying approach. So why supervision is required in that? This is only reason that people are not honest, people are not trustworthy. So you have to control them by somebody else, though it's required on project, but particularly in our case, it is very essential because we don't have any character of what? Character of honesty, character of reliability. Reliability here, I stress always reliability. Maybe people are not clear about this. This is a modern definition of reliability, which is not simply work, it is expansion of work, and that is, as you can say, it's an equation now. An equation is minimum, which is not maximum. That is, whatever is done must be safe, and whatever is done must give you service of use or some other service, and also whatever is done must be long living. Long living means if you design something for 50 years or 100 years or 6 months or 1 month, 1 year, whatever duration you fix or whatever life of that product you expect it to serve for you, that is called durability. So these are minimum requirements. If you say that safe plus service, safe, it is safe, it serves, and it is long run. It shall work in 50 years, must. In 100 years, must. It must work. And if more than that, it's value added. So you can say reliability is equal to safety plus serviceability and plus durability, means your work that contractor does or promoters or supervisor that would work as monitoring supervisor on your project, they should work according to a reliability definition, reliability equation, which we want to ensure. And ensuring is actually very important because we need so much work there, otherwise it's no use, and that is very important. I don't know who's calling, just a minute please. Hello gentlemen, that's what we move like that, and we have to understand this point. Hello, hello, hello. My God, I don't know. Hello, who is you? Who are you? Don't waste my time if you have nothing to us. Well, people will not understand. You cannot teach people in this country. Foolish. This country is full of foolish people. No one can help them. Minds are, septic minds people here. People are septic mind, nonsense people here. Well, what to do? I can't help it. So, so I disturb for nothing. Useless people. So I was just explaining about reliability definition, and in this ISO 9001 Annex SL supervising management, this was for RCC buildings construction. I had conferred with you about quality system in this. Means what was title of his supervising is in supervising management RCC buildings construction. Very common activity this is applicable for everybody, and it says means management system to take care of comfortably achieving its objectives, which is supervision, which is quality control, in this case supervising management of buildings construction, and that is more important because it gives you your money back. Means you are not wasting your money, there is someone to control use of money, because we have to ensure money should not be abused and quality should also not be abused. For that we require the supervision. And it says that management system of this kind comprises various sets of procedures for charting out and implementing various operations or activities so as to successfully reach its intended objectives, and which leads to enhanced use of resources, improvement on risk management, and increased customer satisfaction by meeting product or services expectations. And in this case, our product is supervising management on RCC building construction, and this applies to every citizen, every person who is going to own a building. And in this, I had covered this basics, and I had covered in this clause 1 scope, I had covered clause 2 normative reference, I had covered before. Then clause 3 I had covered, that is terms and definitions, I covered before, and I had covered all this. And context of organization I was talking about, I think, I'm sure. Then there was I'll just, there was a leadership role I had talked of, and then also as far as planning role I talked of, and we were somewhere here on I think we were here on operations, I remember. So this role of I'll overlap that one. I'll start back to class 7 support, so you just remember who are who, or you might have gone through the video before, I'm not sure about. So I say support in this, which is class 7, which actually it is resource, it is resources, and it is competence, and it is also awareness as well as communication. So document information, and what points we can consider here are this material, equipment, and human resources. Materials are supports, equipments are supports, and human resources are supports. Then capacity potential of organization and individual, means what capacity that organization which you are going to employ for supervision has, and what's qualification of the professionals who are heading that organization, and awareness among all pertinent systems and its functioning. Then written job descriptions, as we talked before, all that is going to come here. As I previously explained in NXSL, same thing is going to come up here. So we say, let's discuss about resources being electronic equipment, means resources being electronic equipment, computers, printers, office establishment, and resources also being documentary information, and it being also all supervising human resources, being its leaders, its senior engineers and engineers. And these resources are supervising human resources should have led relevant professional diplomas or degrees, whatever is required for this purpose. And leaders and seniors should have required registrations with authorities and institutions as required by law of land, or even if not required, you have to be competent, you have to power to demand that they should be such competent professionals on that structure you are going to build, because you cannot leave it to those people who are not experienced and having adequate qualification. You can say all resources, all personnel should have adequate expertise. Expertise means one who knows that job 100%, experience on that job or competency on job, that's called expertise. It's not university expertise, it is practical expertise in addition to your having university knowledge or university certification. Then it means all personnel should have adequate expertise in respective discipline or calling. Then all personnel should be inducted which required information. This means Whoever you recruit for that job, he must be given a sort of information training about that project and what that person has to do, given understanding regarding management system you are promoting or you are adopting, and that system he should know, and relative risk and reduction of risks. Then resources means all personnel should communicate for all significant activities. Means power of communication, medium of communication again comes into play. Without this, information flow cannot be made. Means all personnel should communicate for all significant activities, and leaders need ensure working of complete effective coordination, communication. Then number 9, all information and communication should be recorded properly to demonstrate that system has been adequately complied with. No superfluous work should be carried out if not so required. But essentially, activity or operational task should not miss. And then additionally, outsource support should be used in case so needed, in case required, because you don't have your own system support. So you can decide about that. Now we come to clause 8 as operation, which is actually very important part of this annex, this Excel, and operational planning and control is required here, is included here, for which you can say in-house process you can have, outsource process you can have, and overall process management includes adequate criteria to control these processes and manage planned and unintended changes. So let's say what it's speaking about, that all operations involved on supervising projects related to buildings amount to numerous activities, because there are hundreds of activities to be carried out on buildings. Maybe you were not clear about that, but these are varying in nature from structural to non-structural. What sort of you know activities are there? Structural to non-structural activities, finishing activities, cladding activities, closure of openings activities, and many others. These can be considered in a professional way, and we have to do it. Then all such activities require varying procedures, not one, not two, varying, depending on how one procedure fits into system of that one. So all such activities require varying procedures and on same location, which are based on varying national and international codes and practices, as well as manufacturers' instructions. Remember, manufacturer instruction is very different issue here, because international codes or standard codes are written in box forms, but manufacturers instructions, because manufacturers are not ordinary manufacturers, they are also product manufacturers. They are promoting their products based on technology. Without technology they cannot promote it. So point is, manufacturer instruction is important when you purchase some material and use on building, and that material is only for that purpose, and that material is produced by a competent person, irrelevant of which nationality one is. That competency must not be what we are having in our daily use of these workers. Others just they are crying or shouting and nothing. Not that one. That one is intelligent people who know how to do this job, and who consider time value, who consider everybody's value. That's what I'm talking, and then we can say that manufacturer's instructions are actually technical statements. We should not take that lightly when we get some material from standard manufacturers or proprietary manufacturers. I meant to say those manufacturers who are industries actually, They innovate research work, they ensure something, and then they use this on their technology. Technology means whatever technology they adapt to deliver to manufacture that material, and how they tell you how to use it. When they tell you, because this material has certain limitations, and this material can be used only this way in the best possible manner, and if you don't use that way, we are not going to give you guarantee or warranty what the system requires. That time this management system comes into play. It's not simply because I have written there, it's required there. And that's what it says, that contractor should be now come on to manufacturer's instructions. I'm just going to release that. You have to follow whatever is written for particular application of material. It's not written there. You have to refer to data sheet of that. Data sheet is, data sheet must cover that. And if data sheet is also not covered, then you can refer back to that manufacturer who delivered you this metal. What I do with this, it's not giving a result. If you do this, these people will open their minds and eyes, and they will try to amend system. They will try to do honesty with system. So your system automatically will improve because you are going to follow manufacturer's instructions, which is a technical statement in every material. If you don't follow that, all your insurance security will yield. Then contractors should be very effective in understanding, selecting, and proposing all requirements related to each activity operation. So means conductor means professional and not a layman, and that man must understand whether or not this activity can be started. Now, we actually, when you are new in this system, or you're a new contractor or you're a new promoter, it will not find you that comes, but you are able to answer every question, because people after passing do not take interest in even say in learning how to handle people, how to handle everyone. So content should be very effective in understanding, selection, in selecting and proposing all requirements related to each activity operation. And you further on that, outsourcing may be affected for certain essentials for which there is some shortage on supervising house management. So you outsource, doesn't make a difference if you, but ultimately you have to pay whose house in-house as well. But you have to import people for certain specific actions. Then leaders require necessary, they require necessarily as a part of job description to ensure that all operations do well in all respects, including original supervision operations, followed by certification of final product. The leader has to provide schedules showing in dates from commencement of project to stage wise deliveries, work deliveries, and all completed deliveries, including performance, testing, and commissioning. So what it says, leaders has to produce a schedule, means you have to plan to show various stages of various projects from one date to last date, and also in further levels. So this is what it's saying. Leader has to produce schedule. Actually, it is plan or it is scheme you are going to produce. You can say bar chart in common language, and showing all dates from commencement to project stage wise. This can be level 1, this can be level 2, 3, 4, or level 5. Various levels for there. Maybe they have changed now. So you have to deflect those days. You have to project those days and it is start and this is final and this is commissioning and all that must go into that. And required, whenever changes are required to be incorporated, should be affected during all stages and red lines recorded. This means this means what it says, as I explained before, whatever design access, whatever you have done, and whatever design for, Anytime during project, anytime from beginning to end, there can be certain factors which force design this project, or execution has to be changed or stopped for some time because we got some added information, and that will help us facilitate us for something, or for tax purpose or educational purpose we'll get upper hand. This is because of that you have to check it, means you have to ensure that whatever was designed is done, and if this is not done, whatever specifications are followed, these were erroneous, that you have to submit that, you have to record that this is not correct, correct one is this, or ask them what we have to do, whether follow this one or that one, or we change that. If there's an amendment, we change it. We change that line and record it, or whatever specific, we change that one and do other one. This all must go into this as red lines, and then reflect on your drawings for record purpose, for lessons learned purpose, or for reference to past one. That we have to do like this. That is what called red lines. When we record changes, and those red lines when recorded on drawings and permanent record is made, that is called as built changes records. This was built line, as built line, and we are giving this camera to you people to know what was done was wrong or right. Wrong should be corrected, and if there are changes, changes should be corrected, recorded, because there was a cut, for example, or there's some other reason, and this happens. Then we go further down to, we can say, we can close this in a way that whatever changes are recorded to be incorporated should be affected during all stages. Red lines recorded, as built drawings recorded, so as not to delay whatever task. Then once all the operations on project are over, completed, project requires closure to close contract forward. Then, according to practice and conventions, contractor requires to submit complete dossiers in all respects to cover whole documentation of project performance, which would support future references for headlines or for end users. Then it says that complete dossiers means complete practical records done on your quality, your production. Those records should be collectively made available and posted to that client at time of handover. If client so demands, if client says no problem, don't waste your stationaries, don't waste it, then you can keep it calm, and later on you can bath. Then you can say supervising manager are responsible to receive all such dossiers. Yes, it is duty of supervising manager to collect them, investigate them, examine them, and raise certain questions if the record or something is missing, and then he should declare it recorded. Project date of completion is recorded, everything is recorded, and for future use put in that file. There only some research should have been made. But if it is done, fine. If it's not done, fine. A record is there. Supervising manager is responsible to receive all such dossiers for review and final approval, and charting out closure of contract, so that completion date is appointed or delivered for contract works, and for successful completion of contract, and leading contract to maintenance period, including defects liability period, and further followed by final completion of contract to discharge contractor. Then comes performance evaluation, and after that would be its improvement. So we are going to talk these points. Sorry. Activities now. So this is time for 5 minutes. So just do on 10 minutes. So it's a performance evaluation. Just monitoring, measurement, analysis, and evaluation. Internal audit, management review, and considerable points are management requires to decide about internal audit to ensure compliance of management system and final review by management to ensure its compliance and whether or not system works suitably, adequately and effectively. So what it is now, supervising operations. Supervising operations are monitorable. Means we have to read them all the time. We have to observe them all the time and measure them. Measure for purpose of analysis and what value we are earning based on that evaluation we have. So supervising operations are monitorable and measurable for purpose of further analysis and earned values, earned evaluation. Monitoring, measurement, monitoring, number one, monitoring, measurement, analysis, and evaluation is a defined process which requires to be conducted both by internally deployed management as well as defined as well as a defined schedule time by external third party audit authority. Many observations are recorded by both internal and external auditors. Maybe you know these auditors or don't know, I just refer means those people who are internally doing this, they are your own people, but external independent auditors also review your work at random without any favor or without any ill will. They are independent people, external auditors, and they have to monitor, check, and examine and do everything, which noting and instructions should be entirely reviewed by top management or leaders. This is very important point. If you have external auditors and that audit report does not say anything bad about your performance, about your about your what you do, what work you do, it satisfies with procedures, defined procedures, that's best one. And if there's observation, means there is some point that is questioned, means auditor could not be satisfied with that. That is your weakness, and you have to amend that according to requirement. So you can say many observations are recorded by both auditors, internal and external, which noting and which instructions should be entirely viewed by yourself, your top management, and then improved or corrections made for future. Top leader then requires to decide degree of compliance of current system. Means you have to make decision and what steps shall be required to be taken to make it fully compliant. This means, as I said, plan, do, check and improve. Plan you did, you planned it and you did it. These guys are checking it and you have to improve it. This is all about. So auditor work is significant to prove that you are complying with system. And when you comply with system, this is quality. Means system is not blank, system is not dead, it works, of course, to lower degree, but when you improve it, you fill that blank. Means, and to again I say, top leaders then requires to decide degree of compliance of current system and what steps shall be required to be taken to make it fully compliant, and also what degree of value engineering can be inducted onto existing system for further successful completions. This means you applied check, you applied improvement, but what and how much it should be applied, that depends on what sort of observation is given. What do we understand by that? We can confer with that auditor what was in mind of auditor and what he has given on paper. Is there any gap or it's complete? And then we can contact with that one also to have suggestion how we can improve it and improve it. And it continues for continuously until you achieve, you deliver that project to its commissioned status. So we go to clause 10, that's improvement. Improvement, that is non-conformity correction and corrective action. Continual improvement, and requirement is in changing business environment, processes and objectives vary. To meet which requirements, continual monitoring, evaluation, and improvements are a must. So, what it is? It is improvement, clause 10. Improvement has no end, first of all. But we have to define and also for particular project. And if you keep on improving also forever, then you cannot deliver that project. So what is this? As stated, the technologies keep on changing. Technologies, these keep on changing. But not all. That also you have to keep in mind. Now technologies keep on changing as well as business environment, which makes it incumbent upon organization to keep pace with market so that you get at required standard marks. So you have to have vigilance on yourself. This also requires review of non-conformity. First of all, you have to be your own editor, and what you do, you check your own what is a mistake or where there is no mistake, there's conformity or non-conformity, and then you be your own help. This requires review of non-conformities, resorting to corrective actions for changing out corrective actions. Charting out correct means you have to resolve it, how to resolve it, so that correction is applied. That's called charting action. You have to chart out. Chart means at least it should be minimum. Don't do expensive on that, time expensive or money expensive. Improve it within limits, in acceptance limit, because you cannot deliver everything free. Within tolerance of definitions of definition of tolerance means what can be done within which limit. That much you should chart out for correction action. If you want to give more, that's up to you. Means that can be because valued specification means edit quality you can say, Then such making and evolving keeps system frequently updated. Means you are updating your work all day. If you compare maybe 2 years back what I did and now it's much better, certainly it would be much better. So such making and evolving keeps system frequently updated and all involve personal continue learn and update. So this is lesson learning, apply correction to non-conformities. You have to bring back to conformities and there's a long path, detailed path for that, and therefore you learn a lot from that. So now what I say, documents necessary to support these quality systems as we discussed before also. This is now a question of supervision, little different. So we can just say what documents we should have for this purpose. It says that supervising service contract. You are supervisor of this project. So you, of course, you are in service sector. You are delivering management service. So you must have a contract. Otherwise, how shall you prove I got a job in these conditions? So first point is supervising service contract is a must. And this is not just one line statement. This is a complete contract. This is a contract that should define your services, that this is the scope of your services. You have to this activity, this activity, this activity, or you will complete activities expected of you, and what is duration you have to do this, and what is your fee in lump sum or in whatever amount it is agreed to be defined. You must get that contract, which is not very long document, but reasonably long, reasonably well defined, so that nothing is left to disputes. After that, this was your supervision contract because you defined it, you signed it, employer signed it. This is bi-party contract, management contract, that is exclusive your claimable contract. Then comes his main contract. Main contract between employers and contractor, whose contractors work you are going to supervise, monitor, and do it through contractor. That is main contract. That also you have to devise. Here's the point. If you are only supervising, then this role is out of your scope. But if you are a designer also of that project, design means designer of architecture, designer of structure, designer of all technical it is, as well as designer of contract, what sort of contract should exist between contractor and employer. If your scope is that also, then I'm saying you have a top responsibility because you are devising that contract on behalf of client, on behalf of owner. So that is also your essential document to achieve this quality and essential talked of this main contract. And based on that main contract between contractor and employer, other subcontracts also would be drawn, which would exist between main contractor and subcontractor. But binding is there by main contract and by employer. Because ultimately that subcontractor also works for employer in every way, but on responsibility of subcontractor and main contractors. So there is a relation, is a club up between main contractor and subcontractor and engineer and employer. But direct claim is between main contractor and subcontractor because responsibility ultimately employer would demand from main contractor and not from subcontractor. Subcontractor submits to main contractor. That's what is required here. So main contract is also a must document. Subcontract is also a must document, and your management supervision service contract is of course a must document. Then contractors organization chart. So we jump to that one. That's also a reference document to support your work. You do not know who is there, who is he, who is who. You cannot talk to them. You must know what is organization of contractor in addition to what is your organization, and that contractor must know your organization as well. So this is organization chart. After that, supervising management organization chart, as I said, your own chart, your own organization is also made public on your project. Everybody should know who is contractor, who is supervisor, who is client or engineer. All these must be essential for value, value or quality system. Then management quality policy. Management quality policy means supervising management quality policy. You must have a policy, and that's why you got that job. So policy is there, and policies are very simple. Customer satisfaction and dissatisfaction and that satisfaction. We do like this. Not a book in writing, a few paragraphs or maybe one or two paragraphs on a page, which can define quality enormously. Then management quality policy. Here is that we have to decide, because we have to do, and not only we have to do, that contractor also has to do. So he must be having policy, his managing policy, and we have our own policy. Both must come in same line. If both are not in same line, there can be accident. There can be runner, overtaken. Neither overtaking is acceptable, not runaway is acceptable. To stay together and move is required. Both must have documentation. How shall they understand each other at every level? That's most important. And the supervising management quality policy, you have to decide your management, they have to decide your management, but you have to examine their management, question them, and then give your approval. Okay, you follow this management. This should happen. Then contract scope. What? Very clear. You know what is contract, but here your scope as well as contract scope. Your scope is limited or full, that you have to decide, employer has to decide. And what contract scope is this? Contract decides. There is no separate paper. Contract itself decide what is contractor's scope. So then go to quality policy we have talked, and then your quality policy means you know you have to define, and you already defined. Then contracts objective description. Contract, both contracts, your contract and that person's contract. Contract scope is clearly given in contract documents. Your project management is little different because it is consultants plus manager or supervisors for. This is having different, difficult to understand. Contractor's scope can be understood easily. That he has to carry job, contractor has to carry job. But supervision as far as concerned, it is not very much publicly known. And no need. But you should know. You should know what you have to do. That's enough. And you have to apply that. You need not open books at night and see what is this. You must understand that. What you have to do. And your every member, staff member, must realize what is contractor's scope and what is engineer's scope or supervisor's scope. Then quality policy simply means we have to do work according to requirement and give satisfaction to project, to owners and the public. Then contractor's project site plan, contractor's safety plan, contractor's quality plan, and of course objective description and scope. These are major parts that input role is required from supervising manager, supervising party. Because contractors would give you so many documents, and if contractor doesn't understand, you have to explain to the contractor, do it or leave it. They have to do it. They are paid for that. They have to apply all that. This is part of their contract. And that's what I'm saying. Their policy should be clear. Their site plan should tell what they have to do in comprehensive form. Site plan, I am not talking company's manual. I am talking project site plan, how that project is going to be prosecuted, executed in a way that party would tell you, that party contractor would tell you on this project how they are going to work with you, and you have to approve, yes, you can work with us, or we are giving this comment to improve it, reform it, and resubmit. So quality, you can say quality system requires a safety plan, it requires a quality plan, and it requires other objectives. Site plan, safety plan, quality plan. Site plan should completely give you from end to end, from one start to other end, what you are going to do from quality viewpoint. You have to establish that my working will be according to system requirement, quality system requirement, quality system requirement. It should describe that. Because you know about contractor what it does, but what is required, you have to demand that submission your way, that party must do your way. For that purpose you have to communicate to that party. Maybe that party is having their own way, but you say no, we want this way. So let them work on site plan, and your site has to move in that direction. To an extent, it's ordinary work. I don't need here written book written by Queen or someone else, but this plan must speak. You understand this contract. The contractor has to prove that, and as supervisor, you have to check, you have to ensure compliance. That is what is site plan. It can give you what type of organization we have, what type of staff we have, what type of people we have, what type of backup from office we have, what is their job, what is our job, and who is responsible to whom. This must be made clear in that plan. If required, you can expand that one to cover more and more. But remember, you have to follow that. Whatever you write, you have to abide by. Or if there is an error, then you have to discuss that also with, because before approval, it can be changed. Then safety plan. As I said, safety is responsibility of everyone. Everyone on site and off site where they are working, and all other people involved with this project. They should be safe when they visit. They should be safe in every respect. Otherwise, risks cannot be dealt with these days. So that is here. Quality plan, safety plan. I talked too much about safety plan, safety activities, and I also put also this detail in this video text. You can go to see in text that there are various notings and URLs of this system as well as previous safety system, and you can go to my Facebook pages also according to those URLs and see other videos if you don't find any problem. You have to refer to that because I cannot directly go back to all those documents and tell you. It's too difficult. So this talks of technical word is very different. It's not a normal talk. It's talk of seriousness. This is my reason that I'm talking to you. I want serious actions. I don't want political statements because this is work. If there's nobody serious, then you cannot complete project. No way. You have to be serious mentally. You have to be serious while working. So that is what I'm saying. Quality plan must give complete system like safety plan. It must give quality department, company's qualities, site qualities, responsibilities, obligations, and testing methods. How to test, and is there any defect in our test? Are we meeting criteria of course or not? That is very important in your quality plan. Your quality plan is first hand where you can see what is your level of thinking and how shall you monitor this project, which is best and is you can understand what you have to check. All these activities, job description, quality system, organization chart, how to handle everything will be given, and certain examples of course can be given just for reference so that other party understands that. Then organization targets, organizational targets. What ultimately you want to achieve as management company or supervisor company, or they want to achieve as their achievement is one, they have to deliver making that money and they are experts contractor. But as supervisor, what is your target? That target must be understood. If your target is solid, is strong, it's objective, your actions will be objective. If your target is mild, liquidated, nothing, okay, for sake of some people you have this target, then your character will say you're not determined, you're not dedicated, you have a chance and you will, otherwise no, that does not mean anything. There must be target, there must be destiny. We have to achieve this, for which you have to struggle a lot, only then you can achieve. An organizational commitment policy. Commitment is very easy. Everybody can commitment. Everybody can commit. I do you this. I promise you I will do this. But by statement of tongue is a tongue, you cannot achieve. You have to use whole body and seriousness to achieve something. So it is serious matter, very serious matter. Commitment policy. And it's not simply policy, it is commitment. It is hard work, smart work, intelligent work that you are committed with. Only talks do not help, works, activities help. Be serious about this issue. If you are not committed, you are nowhere committed. Remember, you have a profession and you are not dealing strongly on construction project. This is going against you. This shall go against you because you are professional. You have to understand this point that society looks to your face what you are doing. The commitment policy is over. Process descriptions. Process descriptions, then job descriptions, then statutory references, then caudal references, then procedural statements, and all other documents. Now, this job, this you can say process descriptions. This is keyword process description here, but these result into hundreds of statements which I call them method statements, or you may call procedures whatsoever. This is not one procedure, this is procedure for every system, every method, every activity. It is general as well as specific. This process, according to modern system of management, for efficiency must be defined in formal way, not in standard way, in formal way, depending upon what is project, what are items, how they relate to budget, how they relate to time and quality. That must be understood. Procedures for whole project from contractor viewpoint, procedures for whole project from supervision viewpoint, and procedure for whole project from quality viewpoint. These must be completely defined in precise, not in very elaborate language, to establish that you understand quality. And of course, quality should come parallel to that. Then not only overall system you have to define, overall process you have to define, you have to define details also from time to time when you move on that project. There will be statements in your organization how you are going to procure something, how you are going to invite some condition, how you are going to do something else. That is your internal company matter. But based on that, reflection of that would be in your documents or procedures. As for example, if there's some contractor submits execution method in beginning of project, you may also submit your execution method to employer, to engineer, if you are not an engineer yourself, that this is my method. That must define that you understand that. They are not going to check one by one, means they should have a appraisal that you are competent enough to do this job. You know method how to do this job, and these are cross methods, or you can say method imagination, method projection. The technical methods are different, which are called construction method statement. You on a building may find many. You may find many different statements for complete submissions, for all submissions, and those statements are many. We'll discuss them later on in our management other talks of method statements. So this is process descriptions, which varies from building projects to plants projects in a different way, because in your plants facility project you will find different types of items, different level of managements, and many descriptions from all disciplines. Just like in building we are seeing the various disciplines, and that involves those parties also. So this is a long statement can be given on process description, but understanding is a must. There's no way that I should give description here for all processes. A talk is being made for purpose of understanding what is process description. Then job descriptions of each position. Well, we understand we are all professionals, engineers and others. We know what is job. We know our responsibilities, we know our duties, we know our obligations, that's fine. We know as professionals, everybody knows. No need of telling someone what's your duty, everybody knows it. But when we are on project, we are in public. We know, but they don't know. Employer may be having money, but employer knows nothing about that procedure. Contractor may be knowing, but contractor is not sure what you are going to do, and you are not sure what that contractor is going to do. So, a standard has been devised that first of all, because project depends on whom, if you still see, project depends on individuals. There will be international companies, multinational companies, all are there. Yet, control actually is done by individual capability, and how many individuals there enrolled on that company, all those capacity are cumulated, and that is the declares capacity of organization. So why say job description of each position is a must to establish that you have reliable management, because your job description is telling that, and this is not limited as well, this is indicative. If I have been given this responsibility, it doesn't mean I cannot be given additional responsibility if I have time. If I have time, it's my duty to upgrade myself. Nobody is going to come and tell you, hey, do this. No. You are professional. You understand your world. You understand your professional engineering. You understand supervision. You understand how activity is done. You understand all because you are expert. That must come on the job depending on what sort of project one has, and that is job description. It's not for you, it's for others what you can do. It's for them to let them know what this person, this position can do, and how many positions are there, what every individual position is going to work. They should know, public should know, employers should know, people should know, so that they are clear what these people are doing. They say, "You know what they are doing at night? I don't know. Nobody knows what's happening." That is to some extent better in definitions of your documents. Then job description happen all statutory references. All statutory references. This is actually some problem with engineers. I cannot say they cannot understand that. If I say that, then I do not speak truth. Engineers can understand very well what are statutory offences, but because they think they are not lawyer, they are not advocates, which is misconception. Even if you're not a lawyer, you're an advocate, law can be understood by everybody. Everybody. But there is a negative impression on that among individuals, among professionals, and particularly engineering professionals. And that is where drawback lies. That all statutory references must be known. See, you are dealing with contract, which means what? This means you are going to deal with contract act. You are dealing with materials. What does it mean? You deal with that material manageable statutory references. What sort of material it is, how it deals with environment, how it deals with which production, how it deals with that workers' law. So many points are considered on that. So this all statutes are related to your project. Procurement relation, technical material relations, suppliers relations, and all other relations which help in doing this project. That is what statutory references are required. What contractor is working under, what my employer is doing under what law. That also I have to know. Whether that employer is competent or not, that also I must know. It doesn't matter. You have to know because contract law permits that. Equity contract is there. Which law applies there? I am not saying we are advocates, no need of that. But you understand what is value there, how much applies onto you, and where you have to open your eyes and see what is happening. That is more important because there can be accident on sites. There can be everything, every bad or good thing can happen, but should be under cover of your knowledge of statute laws. So statutory references are required for that purpose. It doesn't mean you read everything, just have related para you can read, the clause you can read. And that is very important. Then you follow that says codal references, if involved, certainly involved. Codal references for supervisor, for contractor, for everybody this is required. You cannot work without that. Whichever code you use, our code, you use British code, you use European code, you use American code, whatever codes you are going to use, you should know. And if you do not know at that day, you can read that, buy that code and read that. So simple because you are going to apply. You cannot say no. That is your important part. You have to even write sometime if refer happens to the method statements as well. Because one should not waste time while reading method statements, so I cannot find this information. It should be there somewhere in that, and that other person who is reading that, if I write that statement, someone else is reading it, well, that person must know what I've written. It's not knowledge of English, it's knowledge of activity, how it moves. So these statutory references are supports in many cases. You are dealing with worker, you are dealing with machine, you are handling with crane, you are handling something else. People are driving, you are driving, materials are moving, all are covered in this. Means you should not say I did not know. When it is given in contract, statutory references, then codal references means codes. I actually all these are codes, American codes, British code, all this. Then procedural statements, I already told you, procedural statements are there, and all other documents depending on operation that is unlimited. Unlimited. It depends upon you. What do you expect your contractor? And contractor thinks, what do you expect? If you think that there is more need, more knowledge required, more information to be shared between these non-parties, that contractor and supervisor, or contractors key personnel or supervisors key personnel, what information we should give to them and what they demand for. If their demand is justified, means your duty to equip with this information that you must know all about, which are not I told in these titles, but I just told you all this is indicative. This is not final law. This depends upon you. Ultimately, project should be delivered with quality, with quantity, with value addition. That is an approach that must be made clear. So there can be no more limited explanation on this. We can go on explaining a lot, many to many hours. But ultimately, thinking is more important. As supervisor, what do you think? What you do? It doesn't mean other guys thinking that. You have to communicate that person to like this. Because you have a relation with that person, you are an auditor on that person, actually supervisor and surveillance, your surveillance eyes, and you expect that person to follow some law, some statute, some procedure. You have to train that person, examine that person, whether or not those parties, those people understand this. And what you understand of their understanding. Both are like an employer is getting services of both your services and that person's services. Employer should know both how you do, and that is a part of commission also. Communication also, when you write to employer or talk to employer, they write to employer and talk to them. So this talk should be cohesive, inherent, not confusing. Means you can go on explaining, we can go on explaining, we can go on writing, but understanding is important. And major portion, is material and staffing and methods. So everything a person who doesn't understand, don't worry about that. Everybody is watching what happens on site. They may not understand documents, they may not understand codes, they may not understand statutes, but what they are watching. If your work is fine, it's perfect, they will enjoy that wholesale thing. And if there's some problem, they will blame you. You did not check this. Yes, it's you did. You are to direct contract and contract will job according to your direction in the contract. That's what should be done. So I'm just trying to explain this as very important point, very important requirement which we generally do not understand or we are not able to conceive that, digest that, and which results in substandard works. No one can define you what to do. Contract is there, specifications are there, codes are there. You are not child, contractor is not child, and employer is not child. All are mature, pragmatic. So you can say tolerant agreements, tolerant codes, tolerant laws. All are tolerant if you work. Nobody can demand gold if you have to deliver timber. Nobody can demand something which is extra costly, which is extra expensive, but project is project. Demand is demand. It would not serve if we do not fulfill that. We should take project in different way. Nowadays, world is changing and every activity is changing. We should not be documented oriented exclusively, and we should not always be documented expulsive exclusively. This means we should not dip in and we should not consider document as Bible, Gita or Quran, as well as we should not reject it. Both. You cannot reject them because after all, we people draw them, we design them, we write them. I write, you write, or someone else writes. We write what is in our mind. We do not write something else. So we have to understand this point, what we talk of and what we have to do. Ultimately, that has to go to work. That has to be translated to work and not to someone else. And if that is successfully translated to work, I may not say 100% or 105%, at least 99%, 95%. Within some tolerance should go. But if it goes only to 20%, or people don't care about that, they spoil it, then there is no purpose of contractor, there is no requirement of supervisor. What they do, if they cannot work, quality can never come. Money's return can never come. Your money is going to dust. Whatever you're buying is buying dust. If that project or that material you're getting in form of structure is not qualitative, this means you are buying fake work, hawk's work, serviceless work. Why you should buy that? They are not doing any obligation on you. Now what happens? Just I repeat. You are all interested. We should get our flat, for example. We should get our house. You spend money. We are not getting. A condition is created before you in this country that as if everything is like that. Yes, you are not getting. Intentionally they create situation. It's not difficult. They can deliver in time. But they want to force you to accept everything indirectly. They create a situation where you should worry about delivery only and not about quality. This is business design. This is political design because everybody is sharing illegal profits. These promoters, builders, they share money. They give it to those people who are in government and politics. They all make a situation, artificial situation, that you are bound to follow them. Money is yours, your money, but undue advantages they draw from your money by giving a situation where and you are forced to pay more and you are forced to accept delays. Means you are forced to accept delays as well as escalation of costs, and in many cases you are even thrown out of those projects. They run away. Means you have to wait for years and years. Oh, you have to wait for one more year. You have to wait for 6 months more. You have to. Oh no, it's difficult. We could not do it. Why could you not do it? Had you not known before, you would not have been do it. If you not have done it, why did you take this project? Why you have been paid? My point of Consideration is, if you have taken money from me, you have received money, you have given commitment to me that this is my delivery time, then it is my right to get that. I do not want to involve law in that. I do not want to involve courts in that, because I know I would not get nothing. I got nothing from courts as well. But you have created a condition that I am indirectly being befooled by you and by system, because there is no quality management. Management is there, but they are not complying with that. Why are you becoming promoter? Don't become promoter. Finished if you cannot do this. If you have problem of land or land use or some other, solve that problem first. Why do you depend upon me? You come to me only when you are ready with that project to deliver. Why should I risk it? I am going to get only a small portion of that apartment. But why should I take this because of your profit? You make multi times profit because of my money and I have to suffer. This means you are abusing me as an individual, as a user. And I know I have no other way. You know it that. You know very well. This means you are playing with me through powered people. Powered people, I mean to say, through authorities, government authorities, state authorities, through government itself, and through all other those who are involved. Even law won't help me, because I am being abused. They know that I am in need. If they don't find client, for example, they don't find users, what shall we do? So they are abusing us and we are not abusing them. We are not abusing them. They will show you, oh, I will use Italy tiles, I will use Stafford WC seats, I will use color these units, and you are attracted. You are attracted. Oh, I am going to get this. You jacuzzi I am to get. You are just attracted to some fictitious house arrangement. And you sleep happy. I got this after so many months or years. And that person that demands extension, another extension, and you give him money, give him this EM installment, that installment, and you are loaded of your money. And that person disappears one day. So who has robbed whom and who is responsible for that? There may be statute, but shall statute shoot that guy? No. Statutes in our country are just papers, no use. If they work in time, if courts work in time, there is some purpose of a statute. Otherwise, this got no meaning. You wanted to use that building in your lifetime, but you are not getting it in your lifetime. How can you use it? And if you get it, even say example, by chance you are fortunate enough, you get it. So there's a leakage of water everywhere, cracks in wall everywhere. There's a settlement. There's no good electrical provision in that. Lift is not efficient. I am not getting electric supply. This means this is a non-performing building. It's not giving you required service, which means reliability is zero, or only 5% or 10%, not 100%, which means there is no safety of structure, there is no safety of use, there is no service to your requirement, and you do not know how long shall this survive. So your money has gone to non-reliable building. Your money has gone to a person who cheated you. This is because of what? This is because of lack of certain organized system. There's an organized gang, but not system. That is why I am interested in conferring you about this. We have very good experience in our country that people are allowed to rob. Legitimate robbing. It is where no one can help you. Yes, you move from one department to another department, one department to court. You keep on moving, you will not get anything because of system absence. There is a system of judiciary which is not working perfectly. There's a system of executive which never works, and there's a system of legislature which is not for you. Simple, which is not for you. So what to do in that case? In that case is you control where problem lies, and problem lies with that person who is promising you everything. I will do this and I will do that. How many of you are there who book a flat and question? You are very happy when you book a flat, but you never read documents. You never demand any document for that person to produce a copy to me, give me a copy to me. Do you ever demand? No, you just sign some document, pay. None of you demands how you are going to do this job, what quality criteria you have kept in, how shall you manage it. You are ready to pay millions to that person just on a fake promise, and you are not demanding any details from that person because you are unaware of that demand. You are unaware of the questions that you have a right to demand, how you are managing, and that person knows very well that you are ignorant. You are hungry for that building, but you are not hungry for how that building shall be constructed. If everybody demands, you can set that looter right. That is where you fail. You think you will get building if you will not get building in one. If there is a building, you get. If there's no building, I'll get. You are interested in Italy tiles. You are interested in US color. You are interested in every facilities, but you are not interested in his cheating. How he's going to do to know about that? This is your fault. This is citizens' fault. Why does it not happen somewhere else? Only in your country it happens. Because you are not interested to know anything. You suffer later on and cry, argue arguelessly, consult consultlessly. You are going to those people who will never help you. But in beginning you do not want to learn. There's no one case, there are no two cases, there are hundreds and hundreds of cases of loot and robbery. You know, 10 lakh flats are lying idle, neither completed nor delivered. Reason? Public. Reason? Banks. Reason? Those cheats. And top of that reason is politics. Politicians knows very well how to loot public. These promoters are sub assistants or assistants to these politicians because many of them pay them. So all gangsters are there to loot your money, your hard earned number one money. They are looting from you and you are allowing that loot because you are not questioning anybody. You are ready to throw your money into dust, but you are not ready to raise your voice. What you are going to do, how you are going to do, that is a problem, and where system fails because that system is very fragile. At this point, you people cannot understand because you are greedy, you are avaricious. That is why I try to open your eyes that hold necks of all those demand documents, never do anything, never decide anything without understanding documents. Don't worry that they will run away. They will not go anywhere because they are working for money and you are paying them. Pay them and get them back. Yes, there are new laws, something else. But you know how laws are manipulated in this country, how loopholes are researched, and how does judge decide. We know it very well. There is nothing to explain on this. Every citizen knows that our systems are hopeless systems, hopeless, completely hopeless, and they enjoy on this ignorance of people. When you cannot understand and you are trapped in, means you have to be aware of statute, you have to be aware of system, and keep in mind that in your lifetime neither courts would help you, nor parliament would help you, and nor these government people would help you. They are not here to help you. This is a fact, blank, naked fact. You have to help yourself or else forget everything. This is our country because we have managed like this since its independence. We got independence and went to bed and slept. That is our fault. I'm not going to that one, but I'm just referring our character, our nature to that because I am talking system. Because 70% budget, your money goes to this field: construction of cities, construction of infrastructure, construction of housing, construction of other every aspect. Where there is construction, there is loot, there is quality drop, there is system fire. Wherever there is construction, go to road, see road quality, go to buildings, see building quality, go to all structures, even metro, and go and see its quality. You will not find satisfaction, but problem is you do not understand quality. Common man, educated man, here no one understands because you are not interested in acquiring knowledge. You are interested only in surviving and money making. Our, our defect, our weakness lies here. Lack of understanding of documents. We are not American people, we are not British people who are aware of this to some extent, but we are not aware, and that's the reason we suffer. And if somebody tells you also, somebody tries to convince also, you laugh on that, that's another problem. Maybe people laugh on you. Okay, laugh. If you laugh, you are getting health, no problem. You can laugh on me. I don't mind. But at least try to understand. At least try to understand what should be done. I know it's difficult. I know no one can understand. No one can read documents. People do not read documents. Unfortunately, those people who are required to know those documents, they also don't read them. I have seen many advocates, they fail in reading documents. I know such people, very experienced people. I know such judges who do not understand the scope of work. Not only highest profile judges, they don't understand what is scope of work. There are so many engineers who do not try to understand what is their duty. There are so many doctors, 95% of doctors don't understand documents in our country. Forget politicians, forget all others. They never understand. They can never understand. Public has a duty to understand because it is your money. If you want to fire your money, no problem. I cannot expect understanding from a very low profile citizen who has never gone to school. But a person who is having a graduate or master's or doctor's degree or some other degree, I have an expectation from that citizen to understand that. But that citizen least bothers. Why that citizen least bothers? I do not know. I do not understand some of that. That's the problem here. Hello? 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 Hello, Mr. Nigant. Wasting time for nothing. Your talk or stop. don't know people here. See, this is character of this country. They know someone is live and again calling. Message goes to everyone, but they are interfering. I don't know what they achieve by this. This is our system. How many calls have come till now without any care? Everybody knows somebody is talking, but they're calling. So what you say this is our character, national character. And slavery was there, of course, because of this reason. We want to kill ourselves. And you are killing yourself in quality, you are killing yourself in safety. You are killing yourself everywhere. You are not quality aware, you are not safety aware, and you are not your life aware as well. You are not serious. On an average, we are not serious because we are being used. We are not using whom we should use. We are being used. We are being used by politicians. We are being used by officers. We are being used by these business people. We are being used everywhere, but it should be reverse. We should use them because we are paying them. We are paying them commodity. We are paying them for businessmen. We are buying materials. We are not dominating. We are not dictating. They are dictating. They are dictating. Just like Airtel says, if you don't charge in this day's period, I will deduct your money as its father's money. Is loot or not? It is loot. Every government department is looting us. Every industry is looting us. Government is looting us, and we are allowing them loot and loot and loot. So who is using whom? They are using us. Every citizen is being abused, and because it's open up, it's a question of rupees, let them take. It happens. So is this not slavery? It doesn't matter if it's 1 rupee or 2 rupee. Question is not that. Question is right. Right is mine and they are enjoying. Do you think they should know quality? We are talking about quality. Here, quality of construction, quality of profession, quality of professionals, quality of workers, quality of activities. We are talking that. But why should we talk ourselves? Why we not talk of quality of those people? Should we not talk quality of politicians? Why don't we have quality of politicians? Why don't you have quality of these industrial people? Why don't quality of all those government officers? They should also have quality. They know nobody can question us. Why should we worry? They know it very well. So my quality talk means it's not simple quality talk. It's also a requirement of quality from yourself. You should have a quality to speak. Can you speak? Can you raise your voice? No, you would not raise. Because I don't know why. I do not know why. You are paying tax. You are paying everything from your money. You are suffering. And they are not helping you. But still you are paying them. And you are not raising questions. So, who is responsible of weak quality or absenting quality in our country? I cannot blame them. I can blame myself and yourself. I can blame citizen, not them, because they have no power. They know that we are silent, we cannot speak, we have no potential to speak. They know it very well. So what? If such masses, such a great country, people cannot speak, then people will not come from other planets to help us. People will not come from other big countries to help you. You have to help yourself. But if you want to keep sleeping, keep sleeping. I cannot help you because I am one. I am not all. I can only talk. I can suggest. But I speak where it is required. But one man speech, who bothers? Who bothers? Yeah, that's the point here. Quality in every sector is punctured, is powdered, is liquid. Nowhere it is solid. Yes, there is quality in loot, there is quality in robbery, there is quality in befooling public, there is a strong quality everywhere. They can rob you by your votes, they can rob you by your taxes, they can rob you by whatever method they want. And they are doing that. And we are accepting everything. So when you accept everything, you will not get better quality in your lifetime. This is what quality means. Quality is everywhere. In education, there is no quality. See, forget engineering. In primary education, in secondary education, there is no quality product. If somebody says this student got 95% marks, welcome you are. 98% marks, 100% marks. You might have heard. You think it is possible? And if really say it's possible, then that student must know something. I have tested many so-called meritorious students of middle class. Very good, you are 95% marks. Just tell me translation of something. मैं 4 घंटे से काम कर रहा हूँ या पढ़ाई कर रहा हूँ. Just translate it into English. Nobody translated. But a girl who was from very low profile just got 70 or 65% marks, poor family. She told me correctly, and all those high profile middle classes, meritorious people who call themselves, none translated that. And I was surprised. Product, quality product. If somebody is 95% marks, 98% marks, you must get some good response. But if they cannot even know this much, this small, now what shall they do in life? In mathematics they are weak, in English they are weak, in other work they are weak, everywhere they are weak, and they are getting 95% marks, 100% marks. I really cannot digest this. Maybe you people are able to digest that. I can't digest this because I myself was very weak student. I got only 47% marks when I qualified 11th standard and was happy with that. But people are getting 100%. They should be scientists, born scientists. They should be born engineer. But I don't find that projection from their knowledge. Do you find that? Well, if you find that, fine, you'll be happy. You talk to your kids, you shall understand what they are. If you have your girls, your boys, grown up and educated, you can talk to them, how much they know. If you have your kids engineer, doctor, you should know what they do, how they perform, you shall know. Are they able to do something? You can talk to something about your nation, do they know? That is where you can search, you can survey attainment of students in this country, but you will not find it. You will not find that. I am sure. If you find it, you are lucky. You are lucky, you're fortunate, your kids are good, but I am sure you try and you see what you got in. This is where we are weak, we are lazy, we do not want to get this right, we do not set this right. And I think I'm not sure that even in coming another 2 or 3 centuries you will be set right. Of course, you won't see this quality in your lifetime. You won't see. Because there's no quality culture. No one understands, no one tries to. Only culture is how to get a good job, good package and run that package, and that's it. No other culture. Culture I am seeing on these messages I am getting on Facebook. I have understood what culture we have. LGBT is promoted, homosexuality is promoted, everything is being promoted as if that is only your life. And I'm really shocked. What sort of people we are? You don't want even to quality in life. You do not have that. And I don't know what sort of children are these. This is a medium, free medium you are getting. You don't want to use it for your knowledge. You don't want to use it for progress. You want to use it for that kind of action. What shall you achieve by that? But I don't understand. There is no surveillance on your kids. There is no supervision or someone. Means they are wasting their energies, their time, which they should use for constructive purposes. But they are not doing. I'm not blaming them. I'm just reflecting what has happened to our brilliant culture. What has happened to that society that produced very good scientists, very good engineers, very good doctors, very good other professionals? How, where has that seriousness gone to? Are we living or we are dead, or we are living only by bodies, not by soul, not by mind? That point we have to take into our consideration. That is very important. Quality talk is only particular one, but it's not particular actually. It applies when you say quality means quality of life. Quality of life is not simply eating, drinking, and sleeping. Standard of living. You have to make a standard of living. Standard of living does not come from material. It doesn't come from cars. It doesn't come from big houses. It doesn't come from having much money with you. Yes, that is a resource. If you have a big car, it doesn't mean you are having quality of life. No, car doesn't give you quality. It's useful item, that's all. You are making use of that because you can afford it. But if you walk, for example, does it not give you quality of life? It will make you augment your health. It will equip you with the energy which your car cannot. You are spending money on car, okay, you spend money on that. But you spend some time on your mind, on your health, so that you may avoid doctor. But no, you have time to go to gymnasium. You have no time to walk in sun for half hour, 1 hour. That is also a part of quality. Do we understand that? We don't. I am not seen. I see in morning thousands of buses carrying students from home to school and back in. If students cannot walk, every student has to go by bus or by car to school. How should they build up their bodies and minds without subjecting this body to such pressures? They don't want to digest sun. They don't want to digest walking. Just sit in bus or in car and drop at gate of school or even inside that, and later on afternoon go by bus or car. You want to expect them soldiers of future? You want to expect them scientists of future? I don't think. I don't think so. They can't be. We are calling future generation, youth are our future generation. If youth are busy in such type of tactics, which I have told you, shall live future? No, not at all. Destruction is very easy, very efficient. Demolition is very efficient. Setting something on fire is very efficient. But making is very difficult. If a tree is very easy to in one day, but that tree took many centuries or decades to grow. You cannot replant that tree. And even if you replant that won't work. It will take much time to grow. Same thing applies to us. We have to understand quality at length, quality of education, quality in profession, quality in living, quality in interactions, quality in debating. See debate quality in parliament, in assemblies. Is there any need now to debate? No need. Because they don't debate. They never debate. Just blaming and counter blaming and nothing else. Because we have elected such people. It's not their fault. We are our fault. We elected them. They do not want to do anything. They do not want to take any responsibility. They just want to sit, that's it. Want to have power, constitutional status, and that's it. Whose fault is that? And I think fault stays there. Our fault stays there. From there, it perpetuates down, penetrates down, settles in, and come to at lowest level where I stand and you stand. It does not go from there to upper. Reverse direction doesn't work. It comes from there. We can check ourselves, but can we check them? That you have to think. That is where quality lies. That is where difficulty lies, that we cannot change them. But we have a power to change them. Still, we believe in them. We know they cannot do this. They are not honest people. We know it very well. Still, we continue help them. And they know it very well. They know it very well that we are fools, and these fools are our assets. So we are assets for these politicians, and we help them. Just like we are assets for builder, we are assets for promoter, we are assets for government people. They think we are their assets for their money making, and they use us accordingly. So until you challenge them, they will keep you silently challenging. And we are being challenged by those because we don't have a weapon to fight with them. And that weapon is questioning. That is not sword or gun. That weapon is questioning, questioning fearlessly, in writing any speech that we are not doing. We are not doing our acts that citizenry requires. So we are not concerned with quality, and we are not concerned with quality. You may speak, you may fight, you shall never get quality because you have no such power to fight with people to teach them lesson. We cannot teach them lesson, and they can never learn. If you can teach them lesson, you will immediately get correction. That correction is required. That I was said conformance or non-conformance. So it applies everywhere. I am mixing up this talk because this is relevant. If you improve construction quality, these people shall be out of offices forever. Because maybe 1/3 of your money is reaching them through this medium of construction all over this country. In many cases, they are not even doing something and charging. So who is losing? We are losing, and they are enjoying, and they do not allow you to change this method, change this system. So your money, they shall keep looting, and you shall be giving green lights to them, loot it. Because we are fearful. They want to keep us fearful, and we are fearful. Because this is their quality control, their quality system. Their quality system is reverse to our quality demand. What we want, they want reverse. Their quality system is working. It is flourishing. Public quality system is not flourishing. This is only difference. And that is also because of public support, not because of that. So this point we should understand. I'm just giving reference only. It's nothing to do with politics or something else. I'm not talking just because they are involved. It's happening. You can go and see any public works. Any public works. Go and see. Does it quality? You won't find cracks. You don't find footpath startling. You don't find there's a manhole cover open or broken. You can go and see. You will find all such type of defects everywhere, and there is no protection of that. I don't think I have seen for last 5 years some footpaths in some way are lying broken. Nobody noticed that. It's no more than 5 years. Nobody noticed that. Even if you complain, nobody bothers that. So what does it mean? You think they do not know? They know it. They know it very well. Why should they bother? Let public suffer. They want all this broken and do again. They construct a footpath. People will, oh, some work is going on, development is going on. After 2 months, somebody comes and breaks again. Oh, we forgot one pipeline here. We forget this line here, that line here. And you'll see then that work will done. After another 2 months, somebody else comes. Oh, we forgot this pipeline. So gradually in 6 months, your walkway or footpath is removed. And again, that stage is without any pavement. What would you say? This type of management, this is quality management. And if you talk to them, they will blame each other. They will, just like these political parties blame each other. They will blame each other. Where is the responsibility? No responsibility. Your responsibility. No accountability. What does it mean? After all, whose money is that? Whose money is that? Who has to question that? Did someone raise question to councillor or to MLA or to MP? Because they all share. Why they should worry about this? They want every year the work be done and they get more and more money. This is the way to earn for them, but is it a way to use for citizen? After all, this is my money. This should stay there for at least 10 years, 10 years if this payment is there. And it's going off in 1 year and they are doing it again. They break it as it is nothing. Bring JCB, tuck, 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 break it. This is concrete. You are spoiling concrete. There is no coordination. There is no talk with each other department. Means there's lack of coordination, information is not available to each other. Nobody tells you that I have to lay this line after some time, and concrete guy does concrete and contractor goes and takes money, claims money. Of course, when he concrete has to claim money. And then there's concrete going on. No one is there, no supervisor, no engineer. That contract does according to his choice. Somewhere settlement, somewhere cracks, somewhere no good curing, somewhere no good plastic layers. Means it's just a hell you construct. I think hell may be better than that. But no, why should I worry? Public work, government work. Am I not responsible? Why should I speak? I don't speak. I don't speak. And they are so smart. I took 60 or 70 photographs from this area where public work did. I put on their Facebook. These were there for a few days when I wrote something, what action they have taken. You know, this portion is not accessible. That portion they are posting where put my photographs were removed by that smart city company, Faridabad Smart City Limited. That company removed my photographs from there because these were related to quality. Is this not government company? Does MP not know that? Does MLA not know that? Does central government not know that? But why did you write? Why did you post photographs? You have no right to do that. I am not citizen. I have no right. How can you fight with these people? You tell me. They don't want you to speak anything. I put on my Facebook, but they will not look at my Facebook, and my Facebook will not give any value. Despite knowing that there's some problem, this no one has taken any care on that till now. What you should do, whose government is there, which party, I'm not talking of that. They shall not respond. I wrote regarding some issue, at least 25 mails to Huda, to municipality, both. A response, yes, we shall in process, will take care according to policy. Every time this answer comes, but I don't know that policy lies on moon or on Jupiter, where that policy lies. And when those people who are responding, they are responding from sun or from heaven, I don't know that. So where is quality of governance? Where is quality of government? I can't find any quality anywhere. So how to solve this problem is a big question mark we have to find an answer to. I think I am wasting my time, I am sure, but I don't mind that. At least I am wasting rather than sleeping. I am wasting my energy. I am wasting my time. I am trying to understand problem. I am trying to find a solution. No problem. I don't want recognition. I am not saying give me recognition. I don't want recognition. Because your recognition no value for me. I'm not interested to get any award because I don't value you at all. Your award is just nothing, a fraud. If such country where there is no efficiency and people are awarded, means that award comes from inefficient people. That award comes from those people who themselves don't know what to do and they are awarding you. I don't need such award as, because that is not quality award. Even if it's given by president, it's not quality award because everybody is sleeping. So I don't need sleeping award, but my award is my struggle. My award is my awareness. My award is my feeling happiness that I am doing something. That is my award. I don't care for your award, your trophy, keep it with you, but help me to solve problem for public. I don't need your statements, your speeches, your promises. I want something done with quality on ground. You do that for me. I need only this much, not more than that. But I am not finding that anywhere. It is ordinary company, it is government company, it is national company, it is international company here in our country. Human beings are same, workers are same, supervisors are same, engineers are same, consultants are same, all are in sleeping mode, all are in corruption mode. So where can I get quality? I am sure in this birth, in this age, in coming few centuries, we shall not have this. There are people who spread some nonsense also. Just for your information, one day saw a post on Facebook written by some spread rumors, which rumors I got before also long back. Somebody posted that we are not an independent country because we got an agreement with British. Very ridiculous means post. We have got this independence for 99 years. This was a post. And I don't know from where they got it. They just posted something on British pad on this. Means they copied paste on your, and they wrote something on that. This independence which Congress agreed with British government, is only on 99 years release. Just you get house leasehold house, 99 years lease. Well, I was very happy to see that news, because from where these people, I wrote on as a fake news. Somebody answered me, what's truth? Yes, on what basis you have written this news? They put a document, fake document. Okay, I told them, don't worry. I'll put on your reference a URL that will give you India Independence Act copies. You read that and tell me in which clause in on the section on that act it is written that this 99 years lease, then I will accept. I had read that one before many times. I put URL from British law site and read this. It's not there, just joke. But these people spread rumors like this. And if you speak something like this, people will read and accept that without even having any concern to verify that. They will not go to read that document. Just like it happens here in our documents. People talk of something, they never read that. They never read that. Okay, this person told me. They will simply say, this person told me. You talk to them. Where is document? No, I don't know document. So why did you accept this without document? This is the point what I'm trying to stress. Without knowing, we accept. And these politicians know this very well. Speak anything. You speak anything, public shall accept this. You speak 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, they will accept this. Educated illiterate we are. Educated illiterate. I don't understand why are we like this. I cannot understand, at least. It's out of my capacity to understand this story, how we have generated our character like this. And I'm sorry, educated class is not interested to learn. No one, maybe 0.005% people are there who try to do that. But others, leave it. What I'll do with this? Ignorance it is, nothing else. If you do not want to understand something, your kids shall certainly condemn that. They will also not like that, because parents are also teacher for kids. If you talk to your kid for something, your kid will be serious. And if you yourself do not understand that, and you expect your child to understand that, never happen. Never happen. And this attitude leads to everywhere in our society, and we suffer because of this. And we then simply blame system, simply blame someone else, that because of this has happened, what can I do? Why should I worry? I have nothing in my hands. So this is our quality, practical quality, that we do not find any real quality anywhere, except acceptance of every substandard activity, acceptance only, nothing else. This is what I'm trying to say, that we should be little serious, only little serious, nothing else. We are not serious. These people cannot do anything if public is serious. These people cannot lie if public is serious. But public is not serious, unfortunately. Public, I don't know what sort of public it is really. It's because of good food we have at cheap rates, or we don't have any concern of future because we have big population and our rates are too low, or material is not too expensive. There could be whatever reason that we are not very serious. This, if you go to Europe, if you go to America, you will not find us easiness. You will not find easiness. They know problems. They know very well, and they can solve them too. But we cannot. Example. Currently, what Europe is thinking. See, they know what is quality. Okay, they could not understand before, but now they are understanding pollution. What they are saying? Have you heard this news? Plastic use, use of plastic is good or bad? They have decided it is bad. Mobile, your machine, washing machine, your fridge, your other, where there's plastic involved, they want to prolong goods life to at least twice or thrice. Is if your mobile you have to throw in 2 years or 3 years after use. You throw it and buy another one because there's no meaning of repair because repair is very expensive. Now they are forcing repair it. Do not throw it. Reason? It's going to augment pollution. We cannot handle this material. This is creating pollution. We are not competent to handle it, so you produce such type of equipment, such type of gadgets that can work then double than its current life or 3 times and repair it. Give back for repair, or you have to create service centers for repair. Use it as long as possible, as much as possible. At least they are thinking. They are planning up to 2030 something, then up to 2050 something. For their eatable habits, they are thinking something. Reduce your meat capacity. Use tomato, potato in place of pork. At least after being beaten by environment, they are thinking at least. What we are thinking? Are we thinking something? No, we are not thinking anything because we are not born for thinking. We will think only when these people tell us, not before that. That is our problem. So we have to think this way. I'm not saying you learn from them, not at all. We are not required to learn from them. We devise our method because what they need is according to their nation, according to their continent. What we need is according to our continent. Why should we seek their advice? Let us think. We have scientists, we have professionals, we have doctors, we have everybody. But no, we will simply copy and wait. Wait. We know our problems. We do not know solutions. This is our weakness. This means we have negative quality of thinking. This is also quality. I don't want to think. Why should I think? I am just living and enjoying. I have money, I have facilities, I am enjoying. And that's it. Nothing else. So if that is approach, then I regret. I don't know what to answer. That is the reason we have to establish certain systems. Systems were established, but systems are not working. How to recharge these systems? That is a requirement. For example, our codes, IS codes, or we call Bureau of Standards IS codes, which you have. Which code is original? I don't know any code is original there. All are copy paste, little change only. And that is only theory, only in codes, not in implementation, but codes are there. We are happy with our codes. We never review them. Okay, we revise technically, we revise theoretically. We never see how that code performs on ground. That we never see and we don't want to see. We imagine This is perfect. That is our imagination. No real check, no talks to people, because those people who are on real work, nobody talks to them. They talk to those who are sitting in universities, who are sitting in industry's top level, who have no direct control to ground reality. They just give feedback and that's okay. We never think of that. And we suffer. What type of amendment should be there, what type of modification should be there, what is feedback from ground. There is no approach. Those people who never go to ground, they give suggestions. So what sort of suggestion they would be, you can imagine. There's no experience to those people and they give suggestions. So shall we be able to modify them? Yes, we will modify them theoretically, not practically. Practically, we have to refer to those codes which are real one. We have to refer to European code, to British code, to American code. We cannot refer to our codes because our codes are not practically oriented. That is the problem. Originally also, we did not have original codes and still we don't have. We have European codes in civil construction. There are 58 codes. But we never assume them. Till now we have those copies, but we never completed fill-ins. There are certain fill-ins, filling blanks. Blanks we never filled in. Millions of engineers in this country and scientists. For what? What a big government department? For what? I don't understand. We are paying them without work. We are paying them to waste money. We are paying to ministries to waste money. Everybody is getting money for no work. Sitting in office chatting, that's it. And they are powerful. Public is losing. Money is going to dust. And they call it good governance, developing governance. Okay, develop. But quality question is again there. I will not stop this question because this lies everywhere. Quality of food, quality of life, quality of education, quality of health. Does it exist anywhere? That is my point. If it exists, where does it exist? That is my question. If it does not exist, why should I pay taxes? That is another question. But we are paying them. There we are paying high bills of electricity. There is no improvement. They are charging, but they are not delivering service. There is no control on voltage fluctuation. There is no control on distribution management. Every time light goes off, nobody knows what time will come back. If you call them when there's no light, phone would not respond because they know people are calling. They won't answer. Switch it off. Best policy, don't answer. This is quality here. Negative approach, non-performing approach. So go anywhere, water supply, all you have to go, you can go to any place, you will find silent response. And silence is answer to every problem. You may simply say, silence is answer to every problem here. I have talked about this, you can say, supervision, and next I would take that is about designs, about issue of designs. I'll take next one. Of course, not today because it's not much time. I'll just try to further this quality issue in relation to safety issue, because safety is also more significant than quality. First, quality can be achieved if we are safe, and if we are not safe, I have completed those talks long back. Maybe you people are not aware of that. There is a text on this video, and generally I keep on videos, and there's URLs of this video. If you go and see on this text, you'll find safety, and also a link to other videos, and also a link to some other files which I have placed on some script or some other site. They are there, and I'll put more later on about management, which I am putting in. I'll start management talk also after this is finished, this quality system, because this is revised one. Actually, this is update system and recently started. It started in so only few years have gone. That I'm not sure this system has not been established in project till now, because it's because of education, because of dissemination of information, and maybe majority of engineers have not been exposed to that system, but exposure shall be required. Quality control is easy, it's not difficult, but quality management is difficult. Means you have to upgrade yourself. That's what I'm doing. Means we are upgrading ourselves. ISO 9001, 2015, and also issues on safety and issues on other codes. Everything cannot be done, but safety is very important, as we know. Safety everywhere. It's called HSE or SHE, safety, health and environment, and ergonomics. Ergonomics means how to manage yourself in work, and how to use your energy in the best way, how to sit, how to stand, how to do, means every means which is best way to do some job, where you are not subject to fatigue, or less fatigue you are subject to, or less you can say tension, less stress you have, and you have to take care of your working team, your crews and yourself. Even if you are working on computer, or you are sitting in office and working, how you should manage this is called ergonomics, means your use of energy, best way to do some job, and that is a part of SHE and ergonomics. This safety, health and environment, which is very critical nowadays. Everybody is responsible for that, and everybody is also has a duty to resolve it, to think of that, but we're not thinking. Everybody is not thinking. Some people are thinking, and those who are thinking, who are also abusing this. They're not thinking, they're only thinking for sake of thinking. Okay, at least they are thinking. That's important. Because it involves every part in life. It involves earth, it involves air, it involves water resources, and it involves physical resources as well. Because if you are healthy, it means you will be less subject to this impact. If you are not healthy, so health is a part of that. Safety and health and environment. Without health, you cannot work. Without health, you cannot work 8 hours, 10 hours. So health is also a part of that. Safety has a safety, human safety and work safety, both are there. In this quality, we talk to both. Means you have to save, then your work should be safe. Means you work, whatever you are doing should be safe for its purpose. It's going to serve. It should be both so I mean suitable for both. That is important. So these are all interlinked disciplines. You cannot take in isolation that this is safety, somebody has to talk to you, and this is quality. No, it's all related one, to engineering and to public both, not to engineering alone, to society. And society is subject to complete confusion, complete complex. Means they are not clear what should be done. Today, a follow-up is there. We need in future all classes of people. We need scientists, we need engineers, we need doctors. Everyone is required. But what's happening? Science is going back, engineering is going back, management is coming up. This is happening. Even those people who are qualified, who are degrees in engineering, they are not interested in engineering. Yes, because their interest is not future of this country. Their interest is in their package only. Just like businessman thinks of money or ring, that businessman doesn't think how many people shall die in that project. That person doesn't think. For that person, money is prime consideration. Same way, everybody's prime consideration is that package. How much you get? That is measuring tool for your competency. If your package is a good big one, you are very good person, you are very educated person, you are committed person, you are manager, and that's it. Your performance doesn't make a difference. How much you learn, how much you're contributing, that doesn't make anything because you are making money. So this is another point which is a quality point, means money has been overweight. It has been overvalued. Money means it's this has spread to health section also. Health word also in this. You cannot afford health as an ordinary citizen. Lakhs and lakhs you have to pay. If you dream 60s and 70s and 80s, was this a situation like this? 10 lakh bill, 15 lakh bill, 20 lakh bill. Can an ordinary citizen afford health? No. Middle class cannot afford. Forget ordinary citizen. So where we have to live? So means how we are going to survive in this situation? Means we are waiting for death. If I don't have that much money, I don't have 25 lakh rupees provision, means I have to die. This means my measurement of cost is lakhs. That's it. If I have, I can live. If I don't have, I cannot live. Yes, I can get insurance, I know. But that is also business. Means my state is not ready to provide me health facility. In spite, I pay tax. You are paying tax. You are not getting health facility. You are paying tax. You are not getting educational facility. So what for I'm paying? They charge. We have to pay. We cannot say no. Otherwise, they will disconnect. But they are charging. They are not delivering service. So where is that exchange of transaction? If I am paying, I must get value. But I'm not getting value. If I'm not getting supply for whole day, what's value of that? I'm not able to use that supply. You say, oh, we are not charging bill. Charging bill is something else. You are a service provider. You provide service. Well, I'm just trying to tell where there is no quality, it is every sector there's no quality. In every sector, no quality. So why don't we people as a body think that way? Why don't we try to create quality element everywhere? Money plays a role, but not every role. Future, what gives you depends upon what we have today. If we have no stamina in science, in other fields, and we have no good educated graduates, then where everybody cannot go to America, everybody cannot go to West. That is all speculation. And now those countries are also falling in their standards. They are not that level now they were before. They have deteriorated. They have come downwards. This means we have to stay here in future. Maybe we import professionals from there because we don't have quality professionals. Of course, they are not quality professionals, but they are better in some cases because of various reasons. There's law and order in those countries. They understand quality. So maybe they are better equipped than we. So is that not a point we have to take care of? That is what I am trying to think and do it. So with this, I will like to close this talk today, that we have to think for future, and I hope that public may open its mind, open its thoughts to think for this country, for your own kids, for your own generations, not for government, but public should be serious. And I usually call that we are not serious, we are sleeping, and this is not fake, this is a fact. We are a sleeping society, we are a silent society, and we have to open our eyes, minds, and everything so that we be more useful. And with this, I close this talks. Thank you very much for attendance. Bye bye.